Alright, well I believe that we're ready to get into it. I have just finished my dailies, actually, for the Carrack materials. However, before I got started on dailies, I ran my ship supplies barter out completely. Now, the ship supplies barter is a bit different from the barter that you would start with, as it's got a lot of different materials in it that have very little to do with bartering and are the end goal items for when you're building a ship. Hence why it's called Ship Material Refresh. Now, what you would start off with is this trade item barter refresh. And the reason I have to stop working on this list is because I have run out of parley. So 5,580 left. When I refresh, I'll have 1 million available, and we'll spend that down. So I'm going to start by going into my barters, which I still have the old menu turned on, and it's down here in the bottom right hand corner. It brings up the barter screen, barter refresh, and I'll just be doing a regular normal trade item barter refresh. Okay, that'll spend 20 of my 150 available points, so happy to do that. Now I have back to 1 million parley, which I believe is based on the number of contribution points you have available to you, and most people I imagine would get there fairly quickly. And I have a full list of new barters that I can go and complete. So one of the first things that I'll be doing is checking and seeing what materials I need, which is also why I have started in High Dell, as that's where a lot of my materials will be by default. This I've gone and sorted and filtered it into a white grade material, which is the lowest grade, and that just means it hides all the barters that aren't base materials, as this is where most people will be starting. Now, if you've never bartered before and you open this list, you'll have a lot less items in here. But if you have done this a bit, the number of barters that you accumulate, I believe, as well as a quest that you can get, I'll duck in there before I go to see later, is the number of barters that you see in this list will grow as you do more barters and do the trade route increase quest. So make sure that you do that trade route increase quest a little bit, but I'll talk about that once I go down there, particularly if I can remember to talk to the otter. It's in the little tavern that's just off the dock in Velia. So I've got all of these barters to fill. As you can see, these are actually the barter items, so any level 1. That's not going to be so good to me. If I go back up the top, I have flax thread, lead ore, grilled bird meat, wolfhide, powder of flame. These are all materials that you can get. Some of these, like the Acacia Sap, at this stage I've built a caravel and a galleass, so I have no reason for Acacia Sap anymore. But if you haven't built your galleass and caravel, you may want to stockpile Acacia Sap if your intention is to build one of those ships, because it's a key ingredient for one of the caravel and galleass items that you need. So the glue, is it the glue? The adhesive, I think it's called, that you make, it requires Acacia Sap, elder tree, and white cedar saps. So you're going to need a lot of them, 10,000 of each, unless you do a special quest line. But if you're looking to do that, there's plenty of guides out there, written as well as video, on how to build your galleass and caravel. So maybe don't bother with diving straight into Acacia Sap, is all I'm saying, until you know what you need. The rest of these, no impact really on creating a roadblock for creating any of those other advanced ships. I have not yet built the Carrack. That's what I'm working on, but I thought I would put together a bit of a guide, because I've learned a whole lot of things over the past few weeks while bartering and building the galleass and building the caravel that I think would help to sort of accumulate into a body of knowledge. And since I don't run a website, this is probably the easiest way to go about putting all that down. But you can expect that this video will take some time. Less talking, more jumping into it. I need flax thread so that I can turn them into my first barter item. I need lead ore. So I'm in High Dell. Let me check what I've got. in terms of both of those. So lead ore. Here we are. I think I needed 900 of those, and there were 6 trades, so 5,400. That pops me up over my weight a fair bit. You can't get back to the barter screen from here, but the flax that I do have some of it. Was that 200 each? Cancel that out. Don't need all of them. At 200 each, it's 6. That's 12. Keyboard, please work for me. There we go. 1200. Oh dear. I seem to have over-encumbered myself. Alright. No biggie. Yep, they were 900 and 200 each, so I know I can go and turn those into 12 of these items, or 6 of each of these items, if I'm going to say it right. Grilled bird meat. Now, the other thing you can do here, depending on your status with transaction maids, is you can use your warehouse to push items. So if you have plenty of maids, you'll want to take that that route. What I'm going to do is just really quickly check on my bird meat again. Where have I got my bird meat in here? 107,000 bird meat available, but it's a 1 VT. If I go and have a look at my lead... I forgot to do revenue in time. Oh well, I'll grab that again on my way out. The lead, where's the lead? I have 5400. It is 0.1 VT. So my best option here is actually to go to the warehouse, back to my inventory, down to turn auto arrange since I know exactly where it is, but down to my lead and just dump 5,400 lead in, because a maid with a Camasylvia running can pull out 2,000 of those in one go. So in one go I'll be able to pull all 5,400 of those lead items out with just 3 fairies if I'm running a Camasylvia enhancement. So that's 3 ingredients. I just need to make sure I remember to move the bird meat, which I think was 900 again, so 5,400 bird meat, which is fine. Move that in. Actually weighs less than the ore. Don't ask. Weighs less than the ore in my pack, even though it would weigh far more and require many more I call them fairies, maids, to get out while I'm on the sea. Just briefly checking here to make sure everything is running as I need it to. Looks to be. Excellent. Alright, what was the third ingredient? This is basically the setup that you'll need to do. You'll need to do your barter refresh and then look at what you're actually going to fill. Wolf hides, well, I don't go collecting hide very often, so I'm not going to have them. Powder of flame I may have, and I need 6 of them, so I need 1,800 powders of flame. Do I have that in Hydel? These are the questions. I do in fact have that in Hydel. What else do I need? Acacia Saps. Like I said, just on principle, I'm not going to do Acacia Sap. Wild grass, again, that's something that I typically sell whenever I have it, since I don't need it taking up bank space and don't do alchemy very often. But I only need 500 of them for a naval ration, so I would need to buy 3,000 wild grass. So if I pop off to the market and just look quickly, if I spell that, there are plenty of wild grass on the market, so picking up 5,000, did I say 5,000? 500 each, yep, that would be 3,000. And they're all listed at minimum price, so why don't I just go ahead and do that? Okay, 3,000 wild grass. That's all just going to be sitting in my market. So again, I'll have the other bits and pieces sitting in there as well. I did have some powder flame in there, must have done a trade and overestimated in the past. I could do, hang on, that's ash sap, never mind. It's all in there. I'll grab it out when I need it. What was that just sold? Didn't look important. Oh, just the relics from fishing. Okay. So the grass is in there. I think that about covers off on what I need. I'll look at the price of wolf hides and make a determination as to whether I want to buy them. It's 500. Pretty sure is what that number says. So yes, so 3,000. I've got the right number. I could find the landscapes out in Calphion. There is an art vendor right up the would you say, the western end of the market. He's standing over in a corner. You can go and get the paintings there, but that'll only give me cloud mushrooms, and frankly, I'm pretty sure if you went back and looked at that bank, I've got 100,000 of those sitting in Heidel's bank. I'm still collecting cloud mushrooms, so I definitely don't need to. Right, that was it. That's all I have. I could turn beer into muddy water at a 5-to-3 ratio if I want to go all the way up to the Old Moon Guild Carrack, but I don't. Frankly, no intention of going out to that Carrack tonight. Wolf hides I was going to check the price on. I need 3,600 of them. Just briefly look and make sure that there's not a million on the market at a low price. I could. We'll see. We'll see. Doesn't hurt to have them around because I'll get that barter again in the future as well. And then I want 600. Thank you very much. Excellent. Alright, we can do wolf hides, if that's what we want to do. Alright, so I've stacked up my odds here in Heidel. I'm good to head out on the sea. Like I said, I have the maids to be able to pull those out of the marketplace when I'm on the sea. So it's going to be really, from here on out, it's going to be about managing my car. I'm actually going to be using the galleass. So I'll be using the galleass to do the trade. So it's going to be about managing my weight on the galleass. And we are good to go. So I'm just going to ride very sedately out to Velia, because I don't want to really make a fool of myself by running myself into a wall. Like that. Yeah, exactly like that. Nice. Easy. And then that's a good one as well. Beautiful. Second attempt. There we go, we got a drift off. Ran straight into a wall. Yeah, look. I knew this would happen on the video. Obviously, if I rode like this all the time, I'd never get anywhere. Just cut this out in edit, I think. I lie. I'm not going to do that. Enjoy the horse ride. If anybody wants to tell me what's happening there, that'd be great. Never used to have that problem on my T8. It would just drift out and go. But now whenever I try to drift, it does that weird stop thing. Okay. Now, I don't need to go to Velia's bank. The only thing I could do is maybe put some stuff in the bank out of my inventory to free up more inventory, but I frankly don't need it. Alright, I'll stop the horse here, because this is the inn that we're going to want to go into. So basically, Velia is over to the south, really. But we go into this inn. There will be these sets of quests. Proy will give you some quests, and Mia will give you some quests. Mia is the one that will expand your trade route. So I actually have that quest right now, so I'll talk to her daily for a wider trade route. If you do that over and over, I am told that it will expand your barter options very quickly. I'm told that by other players, because I just was doing that because it was available and easy to do, and is also simply take an item up to 10. You get to pick your favorite island. I was doing the Crow quests for Ravinia at the time, so it sort of made sense for me to grab Tinborough since it's literally on the way, and I'll just briefly pull that up to show what I mean. So the quest is to take an item and give it to someone, and you get to pick 3 places where that someone is. So what I did is, because I was always going up to Crow Island, Crow's Nest, which is this island hidden in the fog, but this is Tinborough, and that's where I've picked for my daily to go to. I've also got Ravinia's quest, but I didn't take it up there quickly enough, so I have 2 things to do out at Tinborough Island. So I could also, if I had the Roa flower seed already, I could do that. So what I might look at is back to my barters. Roa seeds, where are they at? It's my flax thread. So if I make Dutch Island my first point of contact, I can then take this quest, take the item, do Dutch Island, go all the way out to Tinborough, and actually have 3 things to do at the same time. Now, where is her quest? supplies delivery. Here it is. We'll pull that up. Forfeit. Yes. Talk to Ravinia again. Yes, I'd love to do your quest. Thank you, Ravinia. And there we are. I have the item. Now that's just been dumped in my pack. So, pull out my ship. Okay. Always check that you're full on supplies, because when bartering, that's going to probably be the thing that's the most annoying if you forget to do. Having 100% just means you can sort of mess about a bit or change direction on the fly and not have to worry about running out. Barters are long sailing missions, and you're going sort of a whole bunch of places at the same time, and for efficiency you'll be using breezy sail a lot, which will use a lot of stamina, so you just want to generally always set out with full rations. So while we're in here, why don't we dive straight in and talk quickly about my cargo. It's a good thing that I did, because I've got a whole lot of stuff in here that I won't be needing and is weighing my ship down. Now, a bunch of these are high weight items, so I'm actually just going to dump them in Velia, and I'm just going to ship them out to Velia via the transport system. So I'll just cover off on that in a minute. What I'm going to do is to empty the stuff out of my pack. The flax thread needs to go in there, so I'll swap over to my inventory. Where's the flax thread? Here it is. So I might as well put all that in there at first, because that's going to immediately get taken out and consumed. If it's not in here already, you can't barter it. So it needs to be in your ship's inventory. Now, the good news about these T0 trades, the level 0 trades, is that you can put it in your ship's inventory at any time. So I can hold all of the rest of this and go out, and even the flax itself, and it's not going to matter because I can push this in and out. But if I wanted to take one of these items, one of these trade items, say the bronze candlestick, I can move it to my ship here. Okay. If I'm out at sea, I cannot move that to my inventory. If I'm in port or at any wharf manager, I can move that into my inventory. Now it's telling me that I'm overweight, so you know, rude, but it'll let me push those in. So that's an option. I would never take that option. I really recommend that you don't do that at all, because then you end up in a situation like here where you'd be running all the way across to that beach at extremely slow speeds and then running all the way around and up here, because you're not able to jump when you're overweight. Just general gameplay stuff, right? If you're overweight, you're going to find it difficult to get back to a wharf manager. So I'm going to put that in Velia, and then I'm going to actually set sail. I'm not going to bother doing any of the transport stuff while I'm not actively moving somewhere. Seem to have filled up that bank, but that's okay. I will clean that out shortly. And then we're just going to talk for a second about the other major benefit of a galleass, but also just in general. So let's just talk about sailors for a minute. On my galleass, which is named Sail Q&A, I currently have 3 sailors. These sailors are innocent sailors, so you can find them in Velia's Inn, the one where Batali is. His wife in the inn sells the sailor contracts that you need to buy, so super easy to just plonk a character in that inn, and make sure that you then just check on that character every now and again, and then if there is a sailor, an innocent, or any sailor that suits your needs, you can pick that up. Now, the innocents are great because they have a good chance of getting speed for you, which is this endurance stat, but they also weigh very little, 200. Now, initially, I had collected 5 of these Born in the Sea guys, and thought they were going to be great because they get a really good speed roll. And very consistently, they will push that speed roll up to 3 or over 3. What you need is to get this up somewhere above 3, really. So this is still a good character, but you notice that the weight is 500. When I had a caravel, well, I still have a caravel, but when I used the caravel, this weight didn't matter. So if you're intending on building and using a caravel for trade, just bear with me a second. Okay. So, the weight didn't matter on a caravel. So if you're going to go for a caravel, you don't have to care so much about what I'm saying here with the innocents. You can get Born in the Sea, Ambitious, Innocents. They really end up with a decent speed roll. There are charts and other min-max stats for sailors and those sorts of lists online. The Sailing Discord has a lot of good information in it about sailors as well. So those can be easily Googled. If you have any questions, throw them through. I'm happy to have a look at those ones and see what I can answer. Now, once we're done looking at the sailors, the rest of the stats obviously do things, but for me, it's going to mostly be about this speed. So that's why I have gone for Innocence, because even though we look at level 7 Barth, he has 2.5, and level 8, my Born in the Sea, has 2.7. Barth technically still has a chance to roll up to, well, he's got 3 more rolls, so he could get 2.7, 2.9, 3.4 easily. On good rolls, he could get terrible rolls and end up at 3. So it depends, but he is on track pretty well. He's not going to be a shining star, but he's going to be good, and that's all I'm looking for at this stage. And I have enough space to roll them through, so I actually got another Innocent earlier today, and he didn't replace anybody per se. I had the spare slot. So at this stage, what's going to happen is that I think Neil Moss here, Neil Moss is going to get fired. Thank you for your service, Neil. And Icaron is going to get leveled up as soon as I go out on another monster hunting expedition, which I do fairly frequently. But I'll be taking the Galleass out. That's why I've swapped over to the Galleass. Okay, so we talked about sailors, we talked about how to get your barter items started, we've taken out our Galleass, we've made sure it's full of rations, and we've got our cargo on board that we're going to go out and trade. We've set our trade destination, I believe it was Dutch Island, and so now I can get aboard the ship. Now, this can be a bit weird, so what you do is instead of getting aboard your ship, you just get behind it. Now, the reason I say this is often you're going to rock up to a wharf that is full of ships. You're going to be able to see your ship. So you jump over here, you right-click on your ship button up the top left-hand corner here. When you right-click on that, it calls it, puts you at the helm, and for whatever reason, it faces me away from it nearly every time. So I'm at the wheel, good to roll. Now, it's pointing me in the direction. I'm not going to press T. Absolutely no point in pressing T. T is going to be so slow. It will auto-path me. But it's going to be incredibly slow and inefficient, particularly if you do tick that continually breezy sail option down here, this continuously breezy sail. If you tick that and then tell it, I'll just get rid of this notification down here, that's painful. Sorry about that massive jump. If you click that breezy sail, it's going to go off course and then try and get back on course. I've literally watched my ship do 2 360s in a row, trying to get itself back on course. And I mean, I like efficiency to a certain degree, so what I'd rather do is head off, click continue to use breezy sail, and I am up and running. Now, a couple of new things have appeared down the bottom there once we got behind the wheel. To me, that looks like an autopather, that ship right there, because they're doing weird turns, and I think they're about to sail through the reef. Good luck! Okay, you bear that reef in mind. If you sail over the reef, your ship can take quite the pounding. So my suggestion is don't go near the reef. And by the reef, what I'm talking about is you would have seen these 2 little islands out here. Basically, I try to come out this way through past this flounder that I've never caught, and then go out. So if you're going to go any direction, just stay away from here and stay away from here. You will take, I recommend, just for fun, maybe don't have any sailors on board if you're not really paying a lot of attention in on your game. Just run over it once just to see the kind of damage you take. It surprised me the first time. Anyway, let's talking about the reefs. It's really not that dangerous if you're paying attention. We've got a hungry heck in here. Good on him. So we're out of the port, heading for my first destination, and we've got some extra buttons down at the bottom here. I'm riding a Galleass, so at the moment I have 600 cannonballs available to me. The Caravel has 300 cannonballs available to it. The Galleass shoots 4 cannonballs at a time. the caravel shoots 2 cannonballs at a time. These other options down here. Right now I have a current of 20 that is heading sort of against me. It's coming across the bow of the ship there, and coming towards the stern. So it's not a great direction. If I'm going this direction, you'll see where there is a yellow sort of indicator that starts at one end and comes down off the other end. That is the direction of the current. I am now going directly into the current, and my speed will be slowed by 20 or yeah, whatever that's traveling and equating into based on whatever calculations are relevant to your sailor. Speaking of sailors, there's something important I forgot to do. But anyway, back onto the path going north. The other side has the wind indicator. So at the moment, when I was traveling against... Well, actually now the wind's changed. Now the wind is with me to go out to Ilia Island. The wind is with me and the current is with me. Current is on the left, wind is on the right. It's the same principle with those yellow lines for wind. If it's coming from... Even if we simply talk about it from top and bottom perspectives and left and right, because it's always relevant to how your ship is moving. At the moment, I have the wind coming across me and the current going against me, because the wind is coming from the left and going to the right. If the wind is coming from the top and coming off the bottom, you know you're literally sailing into the wind and you can expect to go slower. To get around that, say for example, if I had to be sailing to my west, if I had to sail over in that direction, I would turn off my sails, because it really, really takes down the sea wind effect. You can see there, the ship is not affected by the sea storm because its rails are reefed. Sails are reefed as well. So you want to take those down, and this yellow icon at the top, sorry, yellow, it's orange. This orange bar at the top that keeps going up and down, you will notice if you simply watch it, whenever we move into our breezy sail speed, that creeps up. And as breezy sail drops off, it goes down. Most of the time, this is around the range that it's sitting. However, pop off into Margoria, get the wind behind you at 300 or 400 knots, and watch the orange bar go out all the way to the end, and you'll know that you are really covering some distance. But it is the speed indicator, so it tells you how fast you're going. And one of the things that you need to keep into factor into your speed is that your stamina, it will always take about an 80-point hit to use breezy sails. So you'll watch it and it goes all the way up to 80, and then if it's fast enough, it'll immediately fire it off again for you and do a breezy sail. I'm not holding any buttons down, all I'm doing was steering with the mouse until I freed it so that I can point these things out. Breezy sail will continuously move your ship for you. So very handy. You don't have to worry about your fingers getting sore anymore, like back in the old days when you were trying to sail in the ocean. You can sail for as long as you want in any direction using this breezy sails button and be moving at a high rate of speed. That's one of the best parts about the newer system. When I say new, I think that's about 2 years old, but I haven't done sea content since the great sea content nerf, really, until about a month and a half ago. Alright, so that's what those buttons down the bottom mean. It's why the stamina is getting used. It's being used to cast breezy sails. And then if we go off, well, the thing I said that I forgot is I did not put on my gear. So it's probably pointless showing this already until I put my gear on, and then it'll show the full stats. Every 50 points of mastery is a 0.5 impact to your overall speed. So at the moment I'm traveling 3.5% slower than what I will be once I put on my Manos sailing clothes, and also pop this seafood cron meal. At the moment, there is a vendor next to most horse stable masters in each major city, where the name is Ellie, and she will sell you these Oasis seafood cron meals for 1 silver each. Grab them because they give you 25 life skill mastery. That means you only need another 25 mastery, and you're already getting a 0.5% speed buff. Be aware. So here we've got some drunk snipers shooting at us, so we might as well take those out, see if any of those cannonballs hit. Yeah, we got them. So that'll give you that mastery. It's 25 mastery points. It's halfway to another skill point, but you will only get it once you reach each increment of 50. So what I'll do is I'll just jump off of my wheel because I went to Timbera instead of Dutch because it's set the place to the wrong one, but that's fine. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Let me just put on the proper gear. Alright, so now what we'll have is that. I might as well eat the seafood meal, jump back on my wheel, and now when I look at my ship stats, it's got a 7.5% speed buff to it, and we are traveling around at 144% speed. Now is a good time to talk about gearing on the ship, simply because it's possible that not everybody is already aware that the green gear that you can buy off of Filberto, Falassi, and I think the Croix, the Wharf Master in Velia, sells it as well. There may be other people that sell it, but those two definitely should. The Whitehorn Prow, upgraded plating, Varisha Cannon, and the White Wind Sail. Get them all and upgrade them to +10 using the, I think it's not the Verdants. Do I still carry them? I probably finally took them off and put them in Velia Port because I wasn't using them and didn't expect to use them in a while. You can buy them off of the... Her name isn't Ravinia. They're all a version of Ravinia out at Lima Island. So if you pop off to Lima out here, she's down on the wharf and she will sell you... She might be up. She might be a little bit further up. I don't exactly remember where she was. She was in this village area anyway. You can buy, for crow coins, the upgrade stones that you need to upgrade those green gears to 10. Very easy to do. Very, very easy. Enhance them yourself. You can't buy them. But the enhancement rates are high, and you will definitely succeed as they don't reverse, so they don't go backwards. You just have to keep smacking it and repairing it until you get to full. It's literally a case of take out your memfrags, take out the pieces. You have to buy them first from Filberto or it's Croix, I think, because Proy's the guy in the inn. Take them out, smack them up, and why I'm talking about them is what you need to do. So let me just hit F5 here to bring up this. I'm currently out using my proper sea hunting gear. What you want to do is, because I'm going to be trading, bartering, put all of these green gear pieces on. The reason you do that is because each one of them comes with this weight limit increase. So now I can take 9,600 instead of, look, I might as well take them all off just for the 8,390. So it's a very large increase in what you can carry on your ship. And it just means you have to worry less about how many of each item you're picking up. At this stage, pushing these small barters, I don't have to worry too much about that. There's some combat music come up. So, less talky talk, more actually going and doing these missions, because I might as well not waste time. I don't know if I need to be out at Timbera for any of the rest of it. There's the supplies. We'll take all of that, get 80 crow coins. Excellent. I thought that I had another quest for this, but I may have done it already. That's Mulicia. No, it just wasn't showing me the icon for whatever reason. That's fine. Good. 2 quests done, and now we need to go out to Dutch. In this case, I'm happy to jump onto my ship because there aren't other boats or any other issues like that. Bring up the barter screen. Bring up... Let me check for that one again. Dutch Island. It actually doesn't matter anymore because we were only doing that because it was for this... this other item here. So I might as well show off the other thing. On the map, all of your islands have this little barter icon over them now. So we could see that once I have these raw flower seed pouches, I can come back out and trade them for the monster tentacles. But that doesn't mean I have to go and do that one specifically. And in fact, what I should be doing for being smart is have a quick look around all of the islands and just see, is there any of these guys that I'm already sort of closer to that want the items that I have on me or in my market. So looking here, I can't see any that are going to be super efficient. So I don't think I'm going to win anything by changing my path. So basically at this point, I can pick any of them. This was Dutch. which is close to Velia. And that's Livano. So they're all actually really good for... I've made Ilia. I have made Ilia my main base for all of my trading, so that holds most of my items in it. So I might as well stick with the plan and head back out here. I'm actually just going to go straight for the barter node. Back out to sea, because I took my hands off the wheel, it unticks the breezy sail option automatically. But I'll just tick that again, and we'll head out into the seas once more and go and trade our flax for his tier 1 items. I suspect at 9,600 all of the items will weigh 800, so if math is going to work for me right now, I'm going to be 200 weight off being able to carry all of those items. However, it's still going to be more efficient for me to swing by. I'll show it on a map because it'll make a lot more sense to be shown. I have 9,600 weight, and each item weighs 8. Now, 6 eighths of 48, but 48 plus 48 is 96. I'm just going to check my numbers again because I'm going to end up looking a bit stupid. Technically, I actually probably can take both at 9,600. I'm going to try it, see what it does to me. But 9,600 won't overweigh my boat, because once you go overweight on the boat, you go down to minimum speed. You can no longer use breezy sail. You can no longer use any of your ship's skills. So you are traveling at the ship's base speed. And that's what you're stuck at until you can get all of that extra weight off of your ship. So my recommendation is, every time you go overweight, so you go up to the first barter and you use the continuously exchange, and he fills up your boat cargo, and you go away, no issues. Go to the second one, continuously exchange. What it'll do is it'll warn you. It'll throw a button up, and you don't want to ignore that. You want to keep an eye out for that one every time you hit continuous exchange. And if that button comes up, it means you're about to overweigh your ship. I highly recommend don't overweigh your ship. So, back down here, every T0, well T1 I guess, level 1 item that you transfer for, you can see here it weighs 800. So we're going to pick up 6 of those. That's on here as well, 6 of 6. I have 6 available left of total of 6. I'm going to pick up 4,800 LT from this island, and I'm going to swap across to here, or reverse order, whatever. I'm going to pick up the exact same amount from here, so 6 of these, and again, 8 12s are 96, are they not? Yeah, they definitely are, because 2 8s are 16, yeah. Doing math. So yeah, that's what that's going to have. I'm going to be able to pick up both of those, ideally, and be at my weight. If it warns me, though, I'm only going to take 5 of these Rakeflower seed pouches and head off with 11 items. I'm not going to risk it. Even though it's not the biggest journey in the world to get from both of these islands out to my base island, where I'm going to drop those items in, it's still not worth the speed decrease to me. Just come back in here, check to make sure that I'm not stuck on an island, because when you're auto-pathing using breezy sails instead of using T and following... I mean, if you followed that line, you would have driven straight into the island. That happens a lot. So I just come back out every now and again to make sure that's fine. What I did before was I moved a bunch of my items into Velia, and I want to transport those out to Ilia Island. So I'm just going to quickly do that while I'm here. I have a couple of wagons already in use. Again, because I'm using a Camasylvia pack, my weight limit is 3,000 instead of 1,000. So I can send 3 items at a time. What was the other 2? There they are. Oh yeah, that wagon was full, so just swap the wagons, send them out. Alright. What are my trades? I've sent some stuff to Olvia. Okay. Might as well get them out of the way so that I have those wagons available. Excellent. And the other items were Ilia. So I've already sent a bunch of stuff off to Ilia. So what I did earlier, still traveling, I'll just correct the course there a bit. What I did earlier was I had a lot of items sitting out of the Encarto. I'll talk about that maybe later, if I remember. Just grab those. Excellent. They're all done. Right, so I freed up a couple of wagons there. What I did here, just real briefly, is that there is a trade for crow coins. And you need crow coins. They're a great resource. You don't get too many of them without kind of going out of your way to look to get them. I've only got 1,936 at this stage because I haven't been trying to get them. But you would need... You can get them through barters. So where I'm going with this is if I go all grades, go down the bottom somewhere, there'll be one of these islands called Hackoven. Let me see if I can find it. Today's trade might be really bad. That was somebody that we just run into. Where's Hackoven? Did I just get distracted and go past it? Here it is, Hackoven. Alright, so Hackoven's trade is for crow coins, and that's actually not too bad, so I probably won't be rolling off this until I go and do that crow coin exchange. And it's for this level 5 Elixir of Youth, and it's always for a level 5 item, to my knowledge. But it's a long way away. Hackoven is all the way to the east side of the map. And I think that's why it has such a high potential for those crow coin exchanges to be nice and high. Let's talk about this explore button for a second. Explore has a risk factor to it. If you are low health, you probably don't want to hit explore. There is a chance for a whale to hit your boat, and I think it's for anywhere around 600,000 damage. My total health on my boat right now is about 1,200 damage. So if it's taking out 600 of that 1,200, I think it's 1.2 million. Really, if I do the numbers correctly. So my total health is 1.2 million. The whale can hit for half of that. So if you're low on health, you want to think about this explore button. I always hit the explore button these days because even if it doesn't hurt, sometimes you get these really good quests. So he's just given me a quest, which is a great result. He wants me to catch a marlin and hand over the marlin. Not the best in the world, but whatever. I'll grab out a harpoon later and go and do that quest. Probably won't do it on this stream. Now, I took that barter. I happen to know that just north of me is another island with another barter. And I have that barter material in my marketplace, so I'll pull it out and do this trade as well. See how far I get. What you can do is just move out of the way a bit. Click on him. We go all the way around to the north end of the island. Do our trade. I will show you where Hackoven is when I get back into a spot where I'm on a long trip across the ocean. Here we are. Get up nice and close. Slow down. Hit anchor. Well, that's what brings up these extra 4 items. After we hit the anchor button, I'll barter with him. I don't have any of the lead ore on the boat at the moment. So, off to the market. Wrong way to do it. Grab the maid, open the central market. I want to pull out all of the lead ore that I have in here. Did I not... Starting to wonder if I moved the lead ore into the bank instead of into here, but I'll have to look. If I did, I'll character swap across. I didn't. It's all up here. Good. Move that into my inventory. You notice the ship inventory doesn't appear up here? It might not let me grab that. Yeah, I'm overweight. Alright. No whackers. Grab up the boat again and move all of that into the boat. Cool. Bring up the maids again. Pull out the lead ore. Get rid of this marketplace and put the lead ore in there. Excellent. So now I've got 5,400 lead ore. Back on the wheel. You'll notice we have to tick to use breezy sales again. Barter that, and I'll see what it says. So continuously exchange. I'll see if it lets me fill up. Yeah, it's saying that it's going to decrease when it reaches maximum capacity. I don't want to proceed. I will instead exchange 5 of these. I've miscalculated something horrendously, haven't I? What have I done? Is it because this weighs less than my lead ore? Let me check that. So I take 900 out. And then exchange it. No. 9150. So I'm already 9150. Where did I go wrong? 800. 800. 10 of them. That's 8,000. Add in the 0.3 per. So that should only be weighing 300. Oh, it should be at 8,300. 8880. I see. So the 9600. Alright, so if I took out a goblin or two, one of my sailors, that'll do it. Wasn't looking at the existing weight already there. I ignored that factor. So all the previous maths is can be ignored. Because if I was to take one more of these, it's going to pop my 8880 above. Well, it'd be 500 more. Which does confuse me. It does tell you exactly how much it's going to be. So I'll just show that real quick. When exchanging once, it's going to add 530. However, I have the ability to have that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it didn't register something. Anyway, now with just those on board, so if I bring that up, now with just 11 of these on board at 9,410, I quite clearly cannot take on the 12th item. But the 11 items are good because it means next time I swing by here, and I do have to swing by here, because I think there's another base item trade fairly close by. Yeah, this one here. So I'm going to be real close to here anyway, so I'm going to just grab 1 and 6, which I can easily do. And I've made sure that that's not going to impact too much on my future. So, back off to Ilia Island. It's going to continuously sail. There's an island in the way there, but if I aim for that spot, I should be able to sail out into the open sea, forget where I am, and end up in the corner of the map. So, that part's done. Hackoven. Let's go and have a look real briefly at where Hackoven is. So you can't even see my ship anymore. This is the Red Desert. Still a Red Desert, but Valencia and the coast. And then if we go all the way up here, this is Hackoven. Now the trip out to Hackoven, it's long. It's not even straight. So you come down this river, down here, get to Ancado Harbour, say hello, because you never ever go to Ancado Harbour. Come back up here, sail up the river a bit further, come out at Shakatu's, wave to the people in Shakatu, because again, you never see the people in Shakatu. Sail back out into the open ocean, and then across to Ilia. So I mean, at maximum sort of view distance, we can put Ilia over on one side, and we're still not out to Hackoven yet. And then are we actually? Are we? Yeah, it's getting pretty close. Yeah, there you are. So you can just see Ilia there, and you can see Hackoven. Actually, you might not be able to see Ilia with the way that I've laid the map out, but trust me, it's over there. You can get them into one map, that they're a full map size apart, and you have to travel down a winding river. So you can do full speed the whole time. You can do full speed down that. There is a section of that river that is, the wind is 100% against you, so party on. And that's how that is. I have a quest to kill these hungries. So, heck, why not? Turn off continuously. And might turn a little bit. He's going to dive, come back up, and then he's going to sit on the surface for a bit, because that's how he always works, and then we're going to shoot him. And then we're going to collect his pieces. There we are. I'm here to take the ooze. I hope they enjoyed the show. Take the breezy sail route, because I don't like holding the W button. I did that for enough back in Sea Monster days. And there we are. Sail back off to Ilia and drop off the items. So that, to a point, is bartering. Go out with raw materials, go to an island, turn your raw materials into another type of material, and then leave that island. Go to a base island. Now you could pick Velia, you could pick Etheria. I pick Ilya because it's not central, but it's about as central as you're going to get with a bank. Another thing that you can do, I'm certain if you're playing Black Desert in 2021, you likely know about this, but just in case you don't, there are houses you can buy. We're just going to slam into that wharf. How about we just don't do that? STRR will bring you to a break. You can also do STRTR. A whole bunch of different ways to do the same thing, but effectively it brings you to an instant stop. Highly recommend playing Alan, merely for that reason, but you can play whatever class you want. Load cargo in Ilya, and I just want to move everything out there into Ilya. These all stack. T1 items, let me auto-sort again. T5, sorry, let me get the terminology correct. The highest tier of item, level 5, do not stack and weigh 1,000 each. So they weigh a little bit more and they don't stack. Super painful to keep too many of these in a single location, which is why I had stuff shipping between Ancado and here. The intention is shortly to have a ship and a character sitting out at Ancado, so that when I get those hack event trades, I've got a tier 1, I keep calling them T1s, a level 5 item sitting out at Ancado, so I can immediately just swap to that character, put in the item on the ship, sail like a third of the distance of Ilya to Hackoven, and then just ride back to Hackoven in that character, ready for the next one, ship out a replacement T5 part, and really cut down on the amount of time I spend sailing out to Hackoven. Yeah, it's not going to be my best ship, yeah, it's not going to be my best sailor, but I think it's still going to be a significant time saver than sailing 3 times the distance. Okay. I've got a lot of notifications coming through right now, which probably should be, so bear with me here. The only thing that's an issue with that is I can't turn off those notifications since there's a bunch of stuff I need to look at. Sorry, just bear with me. Okay. I'll have to check back on that. Where was I? Talking about Black Desert and Discord things. Alrighty. So that's how I manage the inventory here. You can move things in there. So what I'm also going to do is I just moved a bunch of stuff between into my inventory so it saved the weight on the ship. But I'm going to change that around now and push those back into the ship since my heavy items are now taken care of, and I'm unlikely to be doing 2 trades in one trip, aside from the smaller ones in the near future. Good. We're back up, ready to roll, and I'm going to just jump into barter information because it's super simple from here for me to see where I'm going again. I'll tell myself to go back out to Oviedo, so if I click on this little down arrow, click on that, it will set my waypoint to Oviedo, and then I can go out there. I think when I spoke to Ravinia, in the port at the last when I took on that quest, I just want to be able to do this. When I spoke to Ravinia, she set me a waypoint automatically, which is why it took me out to Timbera. See, I didn't put supplies on my ship in that one, so I've done myself a mischief. I'm going to go and rectify that because I do have, while I only have 2 islands to visit and they're fairly close, you know, sometimes things change, right? You could do an explore and there's something real close by. I've got myself stuck in the port at the moment. Whatever. Let's just sail through there. Go back to the surface and we jump up to the port. Make it look easy. There we go. Perfect. Right. Wharf. Buy supplies. Let's go. Good. Second verse, same as the first. Right. I've probably gone a bit too far there. There's a short range where you can call your ship. Apparently I was in it. Good. Off towards there, click my breezy sail, set myself in the direction, and then go back to check on what I need to check on there for a second. Alrighty. Back out to collect that. And at this stage, it's just T0 items. So let's talk about skills for a second. The skills related to bartering are going to be sailing and bartering. Sailing, obviously, to make you go faster between your barters. At this stage, sailing's at Pro 9. I'll get to Artisan fairly quickly. Over on the ship, you can see what I get for getting those different levels of sailing skill. Once I move to Artisan, I will be able to do a quick left or a quick right or back while sailing, which is great. I think that's allowing you to drift, I believe. Anyway, it's a thing you can do. The important one is getting up to skilled with Breezy Sail. So, that's a real good question. What if you've never sailed before? What if you don't have any sailing experience? How do you get to this Breezy Sail skill? What do you do? It's super, super easy. And when I say that, it's not ridiculously easy, but it is one quest line, and you get everything you need, including all of those sailor slots, all 6 of them, by doing this one quest. So let me just not hide my quests for a minute. See if I can find it quickly. You've never sailed before, you want to get out on the ocean. What do? Vigorous Velia. Aquila's Eye quest under the Great Expedition. It's in your suggested tab in your quests. Aquila's Eye. Vigorous Velia. Black Spirit will give you that quest. If you have already done part of it, obviously it'll be one of these quests a bit further down. Have a look for it. Obviously, for you, they'll be all blanked out, or if you tied completed quests, the latest one will be the latest one. Hope to give you a hint. If not, look it up online as to what stage that takes you to. When I came back to the game, I was down like somewhere down here, because I got most of the way through it, got myself the free ship, and yeeted out because it was like, hey, go out to this island. And I was like, actually, I'm just going to go hunt. And so shortly after that, I probably quit the game. But anyway, you might be up to there. Do this one quest line. By the time you have finished it and you do this last quest, you will be skilled 1. Okay, so that's, yeah, okay. It looks like a longer sort of quest line, but it is the way to get to skilled 1, so that, what, it should take you maybe 1 or 2 hours to do that whole quest line. Let's say 2. Do that quest line, you will be skilled. Just going to real quickly check on everything that's happening around here, make sure that we've still got all of the right bits and pieces moving as they should. It appears that we do, and we've crossed the 1 hour mark, so excellent. Alright, back to this one. So we're going to barter again. We've only got the 1 to do now. As you can see, I have none left, so until I refresh my barter, I can't just keep doing lead ore over and over and over again. Jumping off of that. Now, go to the next island. I'm just going to use the map for that because you can see each barter on the map, and the map, I have that one, so I can do that one as well. But I'm going to do Luviano Island first. Then I might collect some of the other ones on my way by, if that's the thing that I end up wanting to do. So you've got your skilled 1 sailing. You also, in that quest line, get a free ship. Just going to find it real quick. Where does he give you the free ship? To the wharf to set sail? Find a ship with 1 or more cabins. Just trying to see if I can spot the exact one which gives it to you. Okay, look, I might have led you up the garden path with this one. pretty sure it was this quest that gave me a ship. It also may be that when you do it, you will see some of these that I'm not seeing. You also can't see the rewards for this for whatever reason, because it's completed for me. I suspect that when you do this, you will get yourself a free ship. This quest line, again, just to call it out, the Great Expedition, you'll get a free ship and get that skill. After you finish it, you have skilled. So you'll still have to sail out, and it'll be slow as usual. But you can also repeat that quest line on every character. So let's say you've got a character, you know, that's sailing, but you didn't want to sail on that character. Vigorous Velia quest line will get you to skilled one on any character you decide to do it on. So at this stage, I've got to wait a bit of time. So I did my last explore less than 20 minutes ago. So it's telling me once all these messages were gone, it would warn me and say, hey, wait a bit. If I duck off to the wolf hide place, just briefly, I'll do a couple of exchanges, and then that will free up some of my space so I can actually do a real trade. These aren't really trades. This is like turning your mats, i.e. your, what would you call it? You know, your assets into trade assets. But as far as I'm aware, I'll just double check it, but as far as I'm aware, you can't even trade these out for money. Yeah, so these are worthless. So you're turning real assets, so that's obviously got an actual price that people would pay, into nothing. It's the trades further up, and once you get up to that level 5 trade, that you'll start making the money. But unless money making is your goal, you don't care so much about these trades at this sort of level, like where I am right now. I don't care so much about the value. I'm not selling these items. In fact, I'm not even turning my T4s into T5s, because those T4s also trade for things. Wolf hides I need to pull out of the bank. Let me just do that briefly. Not the pets. Let me find the wolf hides. What you're doing at this level of the game is you're working towards your Carrack. Maybe if you think that Caravel's good enough and that, you know, you're just happy with that, you know, that smaller inventory size that you can have, then yeah, sure, you could go ahead and you can make plenty of money. I'll show you that bank in a second, just to give some idea of the sorts of money that you can be making relatively quickly. I just need to find these hides. My hides are all up here. Wolf hides. I need 3,600 of you. So 2,000, yep. 2,000 will be fine. Okay. We'll depart from here because I don't see me needing that shortly. Bring that up and move the wolf hides in. Excellent. Back on the wheel. Barter. How many of these can I do? 7, 6, 70, 8, 4, 10. Yep, alright, so we're all the way up to 9, 150, and that's as much as I can do there. Good. Depart, and once again, off to Ilia Island. I mean, this really is bartering. It's simple. Basically, if you're a student or have free time where you need to do something else while you're playing the game and want to do this as an AFK activity, it sort of works well enough for that. Now, let me just back to that for a minute. Alrighty. What I was going to do is just jump into the bank for a second and just have a look at that total marketplace value. Obviously there are some other things in there, so if I do auto arrange, you can see there's a couple of these bits and pieces. Fish are worth a bit of money, but that's not what's going to be making up this 588 million down the bottom. That 588 million is by and large all of these items up here. These level 5 items are worth 5 million each, most of them. You can pick up ones that are worth 10 million each. But the flip side of this is just to remember, you don't get to trade 5 level 4 Panaceas or 6 level 4 Panaceas into 6 Faded Gold Dragons. Normally you can trade it at a 1-for-1. I have seen 1-for-2s, but normally you trade it at a 1-for-1, but you can only trade it 2 times. So you see here, I can turn a level 4 Pirate's Key into an octagonal box at a 1-for-1 ratio. I could do that 4 times. But perhaps I could have traded in 3 level 3 Gooey Monster Bloods for 6 keys. A lot of that happens. You get to trade increasing, I was about to say get to trade increasingly more items. So that's not true. That's not how it works. If I trade in these 6 items that I have on my ship right now, speaking of my ship, we're going past Ilya. There we are. Caught him in time, sending him back in. I have traded in for these 6 fertile soils at level 1. I could trade those in for a level 2 item, and maybe I traded in for a 1-for-1, but maybe I traded in for a 1-for-2. Sometimes you trade it in for a 1-for-3. So when you do that, you're really boosting the value of that item. So I did some work in calculating it before, and effectively that first trade of 6, if you carry that through to its conclusion, can be, and I don't want to get crucified over this number, so I'm just going to say it, 100 million, 200 million, in that single trade, if you get it in all of the right boosts. Perhaps I can show that a little in here. So we're showing all grades. I have taken my 600 wolf hides and I've turned that into a pirate's gunpowder. Now I can take that pirate's gunpowder, and I might just quickly go into here and do my greens, right? That pirate's gunpowder, I can trade that in for 2 Islanders lunchboxes. So that 600 wolf hide that I traded in for one of these is now 2 lunchboxes. Okay, that lunchbox, I've now got 12 lunchboxes because I was able to trade that in. Actually, this is silly. I should have checked. Was it actually 6 trades that I can do for lunchboxes? It's all relevant. 2 trades. Okay, so I can turn 2 of these into 4 Islanders lunchboxes. Okay, so I've now got 4 Pirates Gunpowder and 4 Islanders lunchboxes, all from that initial trade of wolf hides. So now remember, I've got 4 Islanders lunchboxes. I can turn those, I can actually take all 4 of those Islanders lunchboxes, and I can turn them into 3 Torn Pirate maps each. That means I can take 12 Torn Pirate treasure maps now. So my initial investment of the wolf hide has turned into 4 of the gunpowder and 12 of the Torn Pirate treasure maps. Now these have a value, so now I've got 12 million. That's not the end of it though, obviously. So 12 of those pirate maps. Now, where are they in this scale? Here they are. I can take 6 of those, and I can turn them into 12 opulent thread spools worth 2 million each. So now I've got 12 items worth 2 million each, so 24 million, and I still have 6 of my treasure maps at 6 million. So I have now made 30 million from the wolf hides that I put in. I need to keep these numbers on track. So I've got 12 opulent thread spools. Let's ignore everything other than this last trade because I'm gonna lose track. Opulent thread spools. I can turn them 4 of those into these elixirs of youth at 5 million each. I now have 20 million in the level 5 trade, and I have 16 million in this. That's those 2 numbers added together, 36 million. So I now have got 36 million, ignoring, remember that thing I said I was going to ignore? Yeah, that thing. We had like 8. Hang on a minute. Not the yellows, the blues. Where are they? This guy. Did we have like 8 of these left or something? We had 12 and we transferred 4 or something like that. Maybe we transferred 6. Yeah, we did 6. So we had 12 of these, we transferred 6, so I got 6 million, 42 million. If maths is working how it is for me right now, I've turned those wolf hides into 42 million. Now, if you scroll the video back to the beginning, you'll be able to see exactly how much I paid for those wolf hides and work out if you've made a profit or not. But I kind of bet he's just gonna go and check and make sure he's actually making money off his barters at the moment. No, but it's not about the money either. That's where we get into the next part of it. 6250. If you whip a calculator, everybody loves maths. Is that why you watch videos, to see maths being done live? Because I know that's why I watch videos. 6250, and I had to buy 3,600 of them. So I spent 22.5 million actually. I spent 22.5 million to make 42 million. But let's remember, that's just the 42 million I've made without converting my maps and threads into their 5 million equivalents. So I still have those maps, I still have those threads, and if we do the same thing on multiple of these refreshes, I end up with only having to have had to leave to spend that money once, but I can keep turning my 6 maps into where's these threads? We know where they are. Into 12 opulent thread spools, doubling their value, and then I can then do like another 2.5 times their value by turning these at a 1-for-1 into 5 million value elixirs of youth here. Right, so at this 1-for-1 ratio. So again, I've got 6 left. I can make 12 of those. 12 5s are 60 million. All right. So if I do the trade and I take it right through to its end conclusion, I end up with 102 million. I'm going to say that number. There you go. Somebody who's going to do some maths might come along and wreck me, but I'm going to say that wolf hide for 22 million has turned into 102 million. And sure, it's going to take a little bit of time, but that's the money you end up with, because you don't have to go and trade those wolf hides in next time. You could just do the next level trades, walk away, give them the thumbs up, and you know, your 40 million trade 3 times in a row, you're laughing. And that's just one of these items. You've got to take that and apply that to all of those other items. So the same thing is happening down here with that iron ore that we had. So the lead ore that we had. And I manufacture lead ore, so people hate me when I say this, but it's cost me nothing. It's worth nothing to me. I just have it. I can take it out here and turn it into 100 million. Stuff like that. The bird feed that I make that for my workers anyway. I have 100,000 sitting in the bank. It's 100 million if I want to go and trade in like 9,000 of those. All those other things. The flax. I don't know why I have 10,000 flax. At some point I sat there and did like a big long flax grind while I was, you know, hanging out the washing, or, you know, you don't do those activities while you're actually genuinely AFK. You do those while you're temporarily AFK, cooking dinner, stuff like that. You'd be wasting a whole lot of your time AFK if you didn't. Well, fish or some other longer term activity. Nowadays with mastery processes anymore, really. You can. No, I'm not going to judge anybody for doing that with their AFK time, but tell you what I do as a little tip. Might I can't see how this would impact me on any way if everybody did it. Basically, you fish off Aquila's Eye. It counts as if you're fishing in the Ross Sea, so you get all the Ross Sea fish and all of the Ross Sea abundance, and so it's never fished out, and so you're just going and going and going at your fastest possible rate. My fisher has a lot of spaces on him. What's he doing at the moment? Let's have a look at him briefly. The old fisher, he's got a ton of space, and even now I couldn't even move all of the relics that I got last night into his via the market maids. But that's a little off topic. That's just what I do with my AFK time. If you've got a better AFK strategy, use that. But if you're currently fishing off of the coast of Velia, I don't know what to say, but I'm a little bit sorry for you. You're missing out on a lot of cash. Alright, so back to bartering. Now, there's nothing complicated about this bartering process. If the math scared you, come on back in. There's no more math. I'm not going to be doing any more maths. Accurate or not, the math part of this is over. What you're bartering for at the end of the day isn't this stuff. Isn't what we just went and got. Like, it's not end goal for anybody. These, you know, little trades for 100 million here and 100 million there, That's not the end goal of this bartering. Eventually, that kind of becomes the end goal, because you can put so much different stuff on your ships, etc. The end goal of bartering at my level has nothing to do with the value of the barter items. It's about quantity of the value of these items and keeping a reasonable quantity in a... again, I said earlier it's not central, and it's really not, but it's as central as you're going to get. It's about keeping a large number of these items in a central location. So, what you'll notice is that I'm heavily over-invested in luxury patterned fabric. I have 3 of them, and I've got 2 of these other level 5 ingredients. So this one's only got 1 left, so I need to go out and get me some 102-year-old golden herbs. And I need to refill on my stock of taxidermied white caterpillar. I make a little bit of money out of bartering, because every time I get really good trades on these level 5 items, I go and just sell out the excess. No harm in selling a little bit here and there. But I always keep 2 of these available, because when I do my ship supply refresh, that's what I'm trading to get my carrack. I also keep a lot of these other materials on hand. I don't really have to go through them one by one, but just notice that, you know, some of these I don't have a lot of. It's because I'm not seeing the trades for them, so I prioritize these. So I won't be rolling off of my current barter roll until I've been through that list. Okay, I'll show you how I'm going to do this so that it's actually making more sense and it's actually useful to people. Go into Load Cargo. Load Cargo has a barter information button on the screen. Bring up the barter information side by side. Now I'm seeing my Ilya Island, so I click on Ilya Island. I'm seeing what I have in here, sorted by tier. So, you know, level 5, level 4, level 3, etc. What I can do is I can start at this and start looking for items I don't have a lot of. And don't have a lot of is like under 5. So this is level 2 filtered drinking water. Look at the color of them. See how it says level 2 filtered drinking water in green? If I come across here, I filter for greens. Level 2 filtered drinking water. Okay, where is that guy here? What do I trade into it? Do I have a trade available for it? I don't even have a trade for it. Now, this is probably explaining why I don't have a whole lot of this level 2 filtered drinking water. I'm just not getting the trades for it. When I did my last ship materials refresh, which is this one here, you'll notice that it's all grayed out because I recently did a trade item one within the last 4 hours. So I could do an instant and spend a lot more points to refresh, but you know, I've recently did trade item. When I do my next ship material refresh, you know, I was spending all of this stuff and running through it. Sorry, using the materials I have in my bank to go and trade for those. When I did my last ship material refresh, I've written down in a spreadsheet that I've got, is now spreadsheet time. Now, I just promised that we weren't doing any more maths, so jumping into spreadsheets is not the wise idea. Let's ignore the spreadsheet for now. You don't need a spreadsheet. You kind of would maybe like a spreadsheet, but anyway, filtered drinking water, and what I've written down is I am missing entirely round knives. So when I did it, I had a trade that I wanted to do, but I couldn't because I didn't have any of these. So I need round knives. Like, that's a genuine need because I have none. I couldn't trade if I got a ship material that required a round knife. So I have to look at what's the trade behind it. Okay, so you're always trading for the item on the left. I think a lot of people would have figured that out. You're trading for the... Did I just say left? Gonna take a long, slow sip of my coffee. Did you all know that the left side of your body is the one with your left hand on it? It's funny about that. Anyway, on the left hand side is the item you have. On the right hand side is the item you want. Now, if you don't have the item on the left, you can't get the item you want on the right. So let's just throw that one out there straight away. But most of the time, you're going to have this item on the left. You want the item on the right. I want the level 3 round knife. I have to have the conch shell ornaments. Well, it just so happens I have a lot of conch shell ornaments, so I am good to go. Thanks to stockpiling in the past. Okay, is that too heavy? Very well. Let's just take those out. Thanks to stockpiling in the past, I can immediately fill my desire for round knives. You see there's exchanges remaining 4, so I've put 4 of them in my inventory, and I can get 3 each. Now, anybody who knows how to barter and just watched that thought to themselves, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Well, you know, keep your opinions to yourself. But anybody who knows a rudimentary knowledge of math would say, well, how much does the round knife weigh? Whoops, we're back to math. 900, okay? 4. 3 for 1. I don't want to talk math anymore. I'm going to skip it. I don't mind math. I love math. But, you know, when you're watching a bartering video, you don't want to sit there and think about math. I've got a problem. I'm not going to fit 12 round knives into my capacity. Okay? That problem is going to be genuine and real. So how many can I fit in easily? At 900, I fit 9. 9 nines are 81. So if I take this out, okay, did I just say 9? Okay, what I'm saying is if I was to try to take 3 of these conch shell ornaments, do 3 trades to come back with 9 round knives, can I fit them in my inventory? That's why I said 9 times 9, because there's 900. They weigh 900. The round knives weigh 900. Got to multiply out the 9s. It's 8,100. Okay, so it's gonna. I need 8,100 available to me. So I take a quick look at my 96 minus my 115, so 960 minus 115. Swap it to the next numbers. 96 minus 11. That's going to take me down to 85. Drop to 84 because there's a 50 in there. I have 8,400 capacity. It's above the 8,100 that I need. Terribly sorry, I lied. We're talking about math. Ha! You were fooled! So anyway, I can go and grab 9 of these round knives. So again, click on Ginbury Island. Okay, the little down arrow, click on Ginbury to set it as my destination. I'm going to go out and get myself these round knives because I don't have any. That is how I use this this inventory. That's why I stockpile. That's why I don't have them all set out everywhere, because it's much easier if they're all in one bank for me to look through and say, well, what else am I missing? So let's have a quick look at what I am missing. Ancient orders, where are they? They're right here. I only have 2 of them, so I'll be doing that trade later. What do I need to get these ancient orders? Now, they're 2 each. I can do 4 trades, so technically I could end up with 8 of these. Well, I need monster tentacles. Okay, well, do I have monster tentacles? Oh, well, it turns out I've got 6 monster tentacles. I can immediately take 4 of those, go and get myself some ancient orders, and now I've got, you know, a reasonable stockpile. You know, if I did all 4, I would end up with 10 ancient orders. Given that I don't have the monster tentacles left after that, right? So I'll just explain that. I'm going to have to spend 4 of these 6, which means now I have 2 monster tentacles. Okay. All right, so how do I get monster tentacles? Well, we look for monster tentacles on the right-hand side because they were green here. So we know they're going to be green down here. So we can still see that. Level 1 row of flower seeds. Did I transfer for those earlier? What's this? There they are. So I know I can immediately go out there and just come back with 6 monster tentacles because I can do 2 exchanges on Tinborough. So I was out there earlier, that's what I was going to do, etc, etc. Ended up not happening. Plans changed. And that's going to happen a bit during bartering. You're going to just do something different and suddenly you're on a completely different route. For me, I was just getting into like showing the bartering process and how you actually start your first barter. And you know, you're going to be looking at this white grade. Picking the items that you think you can have or buy, grabbing those out of your bank and going and transferring them, and then transferring them up the level. I want to talk about a little bit of that now, just because I'm kind of there's sort of 3 ways to do bartering, and they're all very, very valid. They're just when you're at different stages. When you're starting out bartering, and I imagine that's why you're watching this video. When you're just starting out, you want to just do as many trades as you can. It's this accumulated number of exchanges that's going to be really key to unlocking other parts of bartering, but also to getting these routes up. So do that other quest that I said at the beginning from the otter in the inn, the little tavern down off of the wharf. Do her quest for expanding your trade routes. I have a lot of trades at the moment. So if we just say all grades, you know, have a look at my scroll bar here. You know, if you're new to it, your scroll bar is not going to be that long. You're going to have far less trades to do. So what you want to do is you just want to get out there and you just want to do these level 1 trades, many as you can, over and over. Refresh your barters and go back at it and do it again. Have somewhere where you can stockpile these level 1 mats. And when you're good for that and you've run out of, you know, your level 1 trades and you're building this stockpile of level 1 trades, you can start doing your green trades and start turning them into the green ones. But at all stages, you want to be boosting this number. Now, it's less relevant and more relevant to a point. Once you've got enough of these and you're starting to see that you're, once you've done that otter's quest, she's Papu, I keep calling him an otter. Once you've done that Papu's quest enough times and you've got a big long list of trades like this, it changes from being boosting your numbers. Some people are going to argue this, but they're valid as well. It stops from being about boosting your numbers and starts being building this stockpile. That's the stage I'm in, building up this stockpile. What you could do if you wanted to make money while doing this, and this is a valid strategy, it's just not one that I have adopted. If you wanted to make money while doing it, the other way of bartering is going and looking for your path. So previously I've already used the path of wolf hides. I've showed you how that went from wolf hide to gunpowder, from gunpowder up to, where is it? Where's me gunpowder? I've gone all grades. I'd be far too much to scroll through all that. I can't remember. But if you remember the things we went through, we finally got to this the maps, the Torn Pirate Treasure maps to the Opulent Thread into the tier 5 item, whatever that was. It was this Elixir of Youth. You want to make the money while you're doing it, just follow the path. Pick your item. Go and get your wolf hides. Put it on your ship. Go over to the first island and trade it into the gunpowder. Take the gunpowder, go and trade it in for the thing I was talking about just 3 seconds ago. Trade it in for the next level. Trade it all the way up to the 5. Don't bother about doing the other ones like I was doing. You don't have to go out and do your chicken meat trade and your Acacia Sap trade and pull your wild grass out of your bank in the middle of the ocean to get some naval rations. You could ignore all of those. Go and do your one trade all the way through until you've got everything traded out, because as I showed you, you're going to end up with, 4 of these opulent spools or 6 of these opulent thread spools to just dump into the bank, and you'll end up with some of those gunpowders to just dump in the bank, and you'll end up with 6 of these torn pirate treasures maps to just put in the bank. Great. You've got some value now, and then next time you get a trade pop, you can take your thread spools, duck across, say you've got like a late night, you've worked back late or something, and you don't have all the time in the world, but you just want to make a quick buck. Do your trade refresh, your barter refresh, go get your trade item, see if you've got one pop up for this opulent thread spool, take it, put it in your ship, go and trade it in for the money, you get the item. The quickest way to trade these items, so I might do it because I've got too many of these luxury pattern fabric. The quickest way to get stuff and sell it, grab the item, just to check it's actually going to work. This definitely works for a different thing, but I've only used this for the other purpose. Take the item, put it into the ship, swap to the inventory, move it to your inventory. Right, it's now in your inventory. Now this guy has a shop, so I can take that item and just sell it. I can pick inventory or storage at this stage. I'm going to pick storage because I like to keep a bit of money in there. Sell it, and you're done. You can't just sell it straight out of this screen here. But obviously that was super easy, right? Nobody's going to complain about moving stuff from here through to the ship, through to their inventory, and having a shop in the same window. You're over encumbered for like 3 seconds, and then you sell it. So yeah, that's another strategy you can use for bartering. So there's the 3 strategies. The first strategy is just fill all of your barters as you go. So fill in all of your level 1 barters to boost your barter count so that you push this number up. I'll talk about that in just a half second. You're going to push that number up. The second thing you want to do is, sorry, the second method of trading is having this stockpile. So you will start with the first trade method anyway. You're filling in all of your white grade trades. Yeah, that's what you will start with. You'll effectively, if you're getting into bartering, you will be doing the first strategy, whether you want to or not. It's the only way to get into it. You can continue doing that if these numbers are what counts for you, because that's 6 trades every time. What's the word for it? Accumulates over time. So obviously it's using the word accumulated there. That's probably where I got that word from. Over time, and we'll give you the boost to that and expand out your available trades to you, etc. But then eventually you're going to swap to one of those 2 methods. Building your stockpile of items in your bank here. You know what? I referenced earlier how we got this bank space, but I don't think I ever showed what that was, so I might do that once I come out of here. I'm going to start myself heading off in that direction for the conch shell ornaments and jump out of the screen. But effectively, the second strategy is to fill out all of these and have a stockpile sitting there so that you can do your ship material barters, the ship material refresh, and get those all going, and you'll know you're good to do a lot of those trades because you'll always have the inventory items for them because you've been stockpiling. And there's another word for people who do that, and it's called hoarder, but I assure you I don't need an intervention. The third method is just to do the trades from, all the way through Wolfhide, all the way through to Elixir of Youth, and just keep doing that. You will end up with leftovers anyway, so it's not the worst way to go about it, and it is a way to get a little bit of money as you go. The only thing that will stop you from making that super efficient and keeping your stockpile is this parley. Eventually you're going to run out of parley. When I started, I had 1 million. I'm now at 757, and if we show the hides that we've bartered from, they're grayed out, so I can't barter them again. I've done 6, and another, and then 3, so that's 21 trades. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So I've done 21 trades, and I've already spent 250,000 parley. Okay, so bear that in mind. You don't have all of the parley in the world, so you will need to be making decisions about what you're going to do with that parley. My personal strategy right now is I run out of parley, and then I go and do something. Because I'm using the stockpiling method, if I have everything filled out in here and there's nothing worth it in there, because I'm going for Carrick, it's worth just stopping at that point, and I go and do a barter refresh off for ship materials, and I go and start doing ship material trades and ignore the fact that I've got a lot of parley I haven't used here, because I've filled out everything I possibly can and have stockpiled as much as I believe that I need to at that point in time. That's not really ever going to come back to bite me, I don't think, because at the end of the day, is you're going to store more materials. I say that, somebody's going to not do it and then come and say, hey, hang on, you know how you said that? It's not the real thing. 99% of the time, you're going to end up with more materials than your ship materials is going to chew through. So you don't have to worry about it. Like I said, if you're not going for Carrick and you're going to stop at Caravel, you're going to want to be doing all of the trades to get up to these top-end items, and then doing another barter refresh to refresh the T5 items in here. So you're going to be just basically going for these T5 items, and that'll be how you're making money out of bartering. I don't think anybody would stop at Caravel to make money off bartering, just because the amount of stuff you can fit on a Carrack is going to be yeah, it's going to be more money anyway. So like, I don't think that's a real thing, but I'm just saying that's probably how Caravel players would play the game. Good. Refill on supplies. Jump out. We'll talk about banks for a half second. Cool. Face the direction you want to be facing, and then once you reach top of the water, pull your ship over. Jump on the wheel, and let's ride off in the direction. Sail off in the direction of where our barter item is going to be. Cool. So, now, let's just take a quick look at Ilya's bank, just real briefly. I have a lot of spaces in Ilya's bank, and that's because I've bought all of the available storage in Ilya. Okay, So all of this, apart from one lodging, which I needed for the fish that I'm fishing up, because fish are sold out on the market at this stage in February of, it's March of 21. Fish are sold out on the market. So you basically, it's free real estate. There are a couple of houses over here, which is going to be difficult to see. But trust me, move your chats around, etc., and you can see over on the far left-hand side of the Ilya map, there's 2 more storage houses. So, you know, for anybody who needed that, there you are. Now you've got all of the maximum storage you could possibly have. Look, I'll give props to Pearl Abyss. They did a great transfer recently. And you can also, I think, buy storage off of the Pearl shop for Ilya. I don't believe I have. If I did, it was years ago. But someone can point out in the comments if I ever have. It might have happened at some point. So, anyway, I've got 85 spaces available in that bank to me. The value pack that you can get gives an extra 16 slots, I think. If we mouse over that, it'll tell me. Storage slots plus 16, yeah. So I've got plenty of space in Ilya. I have filled it out with the T5 items before, level 5 items. But, yeah, it's been a while since I've had any storage problems over there. Sailing off to... Where is it? Where is it? The name of the island is in the barter window. It just doesn't typically register with me. Ooh, it's a long trip. Alright, so we got a long sail ahead of us through various different island chains, so I'm going to have to be a little active about redirecting. What I sometimes do when I'm feeling particularly lazy is see from here, there's like a straight shot up through here, and then if you get to about here, there's a straight shot down through here. You can save yourself a little bit of turning simply by, you know, using that route, and then like you might get to here and then come and sail through these islands or whatever. Just depends. I'm going to be fairly active with this sail, so I'm just going to point it in the right direction and check on it fairly frequently. Cool. So that pretty much sums up what bartering is like, how to barter, what your ship does, how to sail your ship. I've talked about the differences between your green items that give you the extra weight, and you use those for when you're bartering, and then swap off to your blue items when you want to go out and fight sea monsters. You could use the caravel, buy the plus 10 items on a caravel and really boost your weight up caravel. Mine has, just with the gear I have on it, I think it's got about 13,000 weight available to it. I have to check that number, but it's pretty darn high. We've talked about sailors. You can actually manage your sailors from the screen here, but you can't do anything with them. You have to be at a wharf to be able to fire them. So, you know, Neil Moss, he's safe for now. I can't fire him. But soon, buddy. Soon. He just didn't succeed, you know. I'm sorry for him and his goblin family, but they got to go, you know. 2% speed at level 6? What does he think I am? A joke? So, sailors, gear, how to sail, how to barter, that sort of stuff. It's all been covered off on. So I guess we get to the point of it's not... There's always something more until you reach actual endgame. But that's going to take you quite some time. But with bartering, I'm still really just late stage 2. Stage 1 is when you get your first sailboat and you get a 4,000 capacity or 5,000 capacity ship. You take to the waves and you have a good time, right? It's new and it's exciting. And you start to think to yourself, but this is a little bit limited. How come that galleass takes down sea monsters so much quicker? I want one of those. You know, or maybe you're just like, I just wish there was a little bit more cargo space on this ship. Well, now you've got the caravel and the galleass, but the story doesn't end with a caravel or a galleass. The story doesn't really even end with a carrack. The story ends when you've got a fully geared carrack, okay? So let's dive in a little bit deeper to things you can do while bartering that make carrack life a little bit easier. Now, if he was here, I'd show you my #1 way to make Carrack life a little bit easier. That's also a little bit of fun, but he's not here. Cargo ships. I just want to mention cargo ships. If we look on the map, I should have some cargo ships on it because I have stuff in transit. Where are they? Can I see a cargo ship? There's a ship there, but I don't believe that's a cargo ship. Do I have any on the move that I can see? Here we go. Here we go. I think this is a cargo ship right here. Nah, that's an NPC travel ship. But this. Yep. All right. Take a note of this ship. Okay. This is the ship you always want to shoot. Mainly because they've got this big yellow exclamation mark that pops up above them, and it's like, you know, please shoot me. I'm pretty sure that's what they're saying. It's like, oh my goodness, he's come. He's going to save us from not being shot. So you shoot them. And then you collect the stuff off their boat. It can be good stuff. Second thing you want to always shoot is the Cox Pirates ships that are sailing around. You can tell what they are really quickly. They just a ship full of, well, it's kind of I think it's supposed to represent bones or something. Kind of hard to explain, but you'll definitely know it when you see it. It's kind of like a skeleton ship. And yeah, shoot those down. Very easy to shoot down. Take them out and collect their loot, because they can drop nice items for your Carrack as well. Cargo ships can drop some of the seaweed, which you're going to need for your caravel. And they drop iridescent coral as well. And I think the Cox Pirates, for me, they've always dropped a broken cannon, and 10 broken cannons turns into a combat parley item. Different kind of parley. You'll know it once you actually start looking at the Carrack stuff. But yeah, those two things you can shoot down very comfortably while you're just sailing around doing your bartering. I would go so far as to say it's just never miss an opportunity to blow one of those guys up, because, heck, you know, the only person you disadvantage is yourself by leaving them alive. And like I said, don't feel bad about the cargo ship. Okay, sure, you lose some karma, but I'm pretty sure, like I said, that yellow exclamation mark just means please shoot me. If I was the developers, I'd just replace the yellow exclamation mark with them putting up a big flag that says, you know, please shoot me, I love cannonballs, something like that. I've talked a bit about overloading the boat. I'm just going to touch on it again because it's going to be tempting. I think it could be one of those things that, you know, you kind of need to be burned to really learn that one. But when you're stuck out in the ocean, moving at your ship's base speed, and you've decided to pull out the vacuum cleaner because there's housework that you can do while you're going to the nearest port to remedy your mistake. Hopefully you remember this video and remember why I say don't overload your ship. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened to me in the game, but good lord, it's painful. I mean, I was just outside of Etheria, and I did it the other day. I ended up going back to the map screen because it makes it look faster when you're watching yourself crawl across the map when your ship is overloaded. All good for those trades. Excellent. So now I have 9 of those round knives that I didn't have any of before, and I'm good to explore. But yeah, don't overweight. So a sailor repaired my ship. I've said earlier that you could get damaged by soldiers, whales, pirates, and you can take between 200 to 600,000 damage. Please don't take 600,000 as me, you know, as gospel, me knowing what the top end of a whale damage is. I know someone who got hit for 600,000. I've not been hit for 600,000 yet, but I know that can happen. I don't know if there's an upper limit on it, so if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I have 601,000, the whale can't get me, I never said that. That's not a thing that I would say. I'd say have a lot of health when you hit the explore button, or think about how you're going to get health. I mean, again, sailing's been around for ages, and the way of repairing your ship's the same way it's always been. Chop any type of wood into its upgraded things, like the palm into the timber, the timber into the plywood into the... there's something else, anyway. I can't even remember the stages. Just chop all of the variants that it turns into, and it'll have, all of them eventually turn into ship repair materials. So, very cheap. Just a little bit of time spent on converting those pieces up. I'm gradually doing some palm timber in high del. Every time I have like 15 minutes, 30 minutes that I know I'm going to be away from my keyboard, I'll start a quick process, whack on my mastery gear. And what have I got at the moment? 5,800 palm planks, 1,400. So if I was to chop those plywoods, I think they will turn into my ship repair materials. So, yeah, it's just something that you can do on occasion. There's always plenty on the marketplace from my experience. So if you really, really hate processing, but you really want to get out on the sea, let's have a quick look for you. Ship repair materials, yeah, there's 200,000 on the market. You'll be fine. They will repair your boat at 2% per repair. Once you start doing monster hunting, they become really useful. But back to my, whale damage topic. Explore's great. Okay. I might have mentioned already that you can only use a wharf manager to load and unload cargo. So if you do mess up somehow and go to a wharf manager and put stuff in your own pack and then sail away, you can only because it's in your pack, you could delete it. You can delete those items, but they're gone. So it's either go to a storage or talk to a wharf manager to get those items off of you without deleting them. And you can't just pull stuff out of your ship. So I will be clear about that. If I had overloaded my ship there and was like, it's fine, I'll just take that and put it in my own inventory. Let me just switch back to focus mode. Take that. You cannot perform the follow... Sorry, what did that just say? You cannot perform the following action at the wharf. Please go to the closest wharf manager. Look, I didn't write the game. I didn't make the English. That's not what it means. What it means is you cannot do that. Go to a wharf manager. Okay. What are the other things I wanted to talk about in relation to bartering? The daily quests. I've talked a little bit about those already. Because I monster hunt as well, and I'm also doing a Cooler's Eye, I just grab all of the seagoing quests. So Etheria Wharf. Why do I have a ticking sound? Why do I have a ticking sound? What, I don't know what that was. If you didn't hear a ticking sound, maybe I blow up in a few seconds. Alright, anyway, besides that, let me check here. The quests, Etheria has a bunch of quests. I'll just pull them up. Let me see. Everything's fine there. I'll just go to where it is real quick. The Etheria Wharf here. You go near Sebastian. It's on the other side of Sebastian, but anyway, you'll see them. A couple of quests there. There's a couple of quests at the end of the wharf here. This guy is, if I can get in a bit, it might show me. Croix. Croix has a bunch. He'll give you a bunch of quests to kill various sea monsters. You get a bartering mission from that Papu there. I think she'll give you 2. Ravinia gives you that item delivery quest after you've completed a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I only got that recently, and I mean this week. So I've been bartering for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I did something that unlocked that quest, or they've recently added it. I don't know, but I did something to unlock it. Ilya, I don't bother with at all for anything. I don't know what missions they give, nor do I see anything worth it. Quiller's Eye, I do all of that, but again, that's for character materials. And these random events that are happening, a sailor repaired the ship with his exceptional craftsmanship. I think Zaka might have just spawned. Yeah, there he goes. Now, I have an ult at Zaka. Do I swap across and go and kill Zaka? It would be completely irrelevant to what we're talking about, but, also, in relation to bartering, what you do is you plant characters out at other locations, and then you fight bosses on them. I won't do it this time, though. I don't think it'd be very funny to spend 15 minutes on a joke about how you can put alts in boss locations. But look, I've got Dankina out at Coranda Ridge. Just Do More is out at Portaferia waiting for the next Innocent Goblin, which I've got 6 of. But she can stay there. Farmer Dan's out on the riverbank, ready to do some more farming. That's my enhancer. All my enhancement materials sit out in Altanova. He's just a wee little assassin that's not even leveled yet. And then these are just like sitting at banks in various locations. So I can always have access to all of my banks and put their storage into warehouses and stuff. And I moved Dankna out to the Scarlet Sand Chamber to fight Kudum earlier today. Kudum actually spawned while I was running out to Kudum, so what do you say, timing? I am on the boss Discord to see the timings, but most of the time I got it muted. If any of those guys watch this video, it would really make me happy if you'd create a channel where you gave a 15-minute warning for bosses and only warned you 15 minutes prior to a boss spawning. I would love that to be a feature. But, you know, the rest of it's a fantastic job. They do great work over there. And when the servers are going down, they added a little timer to say when servers, so they're really active. Yeah, well done to those guys. Anyway, that has very little to do with bartering. What else do we have here? Got a whole bunch of stuff that I wrote down. Barter Quests. So, out of the Quiller's Eye, there are multiple Barter Quests. Ravikel, who is the wharf manager at Aquilor's Eye. Aquilor's Eye has the atoll. Really cool little looking island out here. This one here. Ravikel, he's up here. He's actually the one with the quest at the moment because I've done his Barter 5 times quest. Once he's done, there's actually another quest that becomes available up on the little platform behind where Ravikel stands. There's another Barter quest that pops up there, and I think he wants you to barter 10 times. So there's a couple of Barter quests there. You can just pick those up as you go along and get them all done. They help you with your Carrack. They give Carrack materials. And there's a bunch of sea monster hunting quests that they give you out of the Quiller's Eye every day as well. That also hand out, you know, good materials. They're a very good source of getting those. If you only did the dailies, you'd be up for about 70 or 80 days. That wouldn't even cover you off then. You still need to go and get other bits and pieces. But, you know, it's a good backup strategy for, like, if you just aren't getting the right rolls or aren't seeing the right, you know, barters coming through. You've got those daily barters that are going to help you with getting those results that you need. Here we go again. Right. So now we get to put some round knives in the bank. There we are, good. So yet another ship supply that I can comfortably, fill. Let's just use that word. Excellent. What other things? Barter currency refills at, dear Lord help, it's 4 o'clock my time here in Australia, and we are plus 10 UTC. So if you know what your UTC is, then that's 2 o'clock UTC in the morning, so 2 a.m. UTC. So if you do the maths, you can work out what that is for you. Just really quickly checking that in my head, because 2 o'clock takes you up to... Hang on a minute. 2 plus 10 is 12. Yeah, this is why I shouldn't do math. What is it going to be? It's going to be 6 a.m. Yeah, right. 6 a.m. UTC. So 6 a.m. UTC, you add 10 to that, you get up to... Yep, 6 is 12 and 4 is 4. Yep, so 6 a.m. I can confidently state 6 a.m. UTC. If you know what your UTC is, whatever your modifier is, you can calculate fairly confidently off of a 6 a.m. to know when your barter will refresh. That's when I will have 150 barter points. Now, I just want to cover off and just say, as far as I'm aware, your parley does not refresh at 4. So don't bother getting to like 2 o'clock, whatever the time is in your time. Don't bother getting to... If you're on UTC, don't get to 4 a.m. and then wait 2 hours hoping that your parley refreshes, because it won't. Only your barter refresh will do that. Let me talk briefly about what you do when you run out of parley, because I did it earlier as a bit of a test. If you get one of these item collection scrolls, right here, item collection increase scroll 60 minutes. Take that, whack it into the manufacturing window, okay? So to get to there, press, well, L for me on my keyboard. Let's just do that for now. That's a good L. L on the keyboard, manufacture, jump into Pearl items, take your item collection scroll, whack him in there and hit start. For on a 1-for-1 basis, it will turn an item collection increase scroll into, wait for it, drum roll please, this item here, Crow's Trade Voucher. Every 4 hours, you can use one of these. It will recover 250,000 parley. Now, I don't know when I will use this item, and the answer could be never. Because it's 250,000 on a 4-hour cooldown, so I would have to be desperate indeed to need to use one of these vouchers. 250,000. It's not going to get me going for long enough for me to care about. That would be like when I've really made a mistake in my calculations and not bothered going through my barter list to work out the stuff I need first. Kind of like this time in a way, but this time was deliberate to sort of show how to get from bank, you know, from storage into the barter game. And I did a lot of those early level 1 trades that I probably didn't need, but are useful from a demonstration perspective. So this time, you know, maybe I could pop that scroll right now and have 1 million left and actually go out and do all of the actual trades that I need to do and make sure that I've got a copy of every one of these items. You know, do I have 37-year-old herbal wine? I didn't see it in my bank in Ilya. So do I have it? I do not in fact have it. So I'm going to go and trade for that. And that's going to be a priority for me, right? I'm not going to do it right now. Maybe. Would I do it right now? I've got the Marine Knights. Where are we at for Marine Knights? It's funny, I clicked on that and it actually took me to there. So it shows me what I can do to transfer into it. So that's a cool thing. Blue candle bundle. Do I have them? I've got blue candle bundles. So I could go and trade those in for Marine Knights helms if I didn't have enough. But I've got 6. So maybe I would do that. Let me check if this works again. So yeah, if you click on the actual picture of the item, it'll take you to the thing that you can transfer for the blue candle bundles, which in this case is the pirate gold coins. How many gold coins do I have? 9. Nope, those are Croncastle coins. So I don't think I have any. Yeah, I have none of the... so that's a good catch, just accidentally there. If I click on that, what do I transfer in for that? The rake flower seeds out at Loreo Island. So I might as well head up there while I'm talking. I think I could do... was it 4? 2. That's worse. So, I mean, a lot of this makes sense when you start to look at the numbers you're getting. You know, the fact that I could only get 2 instead of 6 tells me why I probably don't have any. I didn't have any damage, so I don't need to check that in. I'm fine for all of that, and there's plenty of space aboard it to go, so I can easily transfer that. Good to head back out onto the ocean again. Cool. So that was my galleass right there. Which direction am I going to be heading? Okay, that direction. Fair enough. You got to be at the surface to be able to call the ship, so... Good. Get started on the trade route to get up to the material that I was missing. There we go. So that's partly how you can get some of it back if you really need to. It is on a 4-hour cooldown and only gives you 250,000. I should have repaired my ship gear while I was in there. Which one actually broke? The upgraded plating. What do I need for breezy sail? What's the requirement? We have lost some speed from not having that repaired. It's... No, I tell a lie. My bad. I've lost no speed. because this doesn't give me speed in green gear. If it gave me speed, does that actually decrease the amount of weight I have available to me? Or yes, that was 9,600 before, and now because that's broken, I've only got 9,000. Oh well. The reason it's got such low durability is because it's green, and you have to make it into a part later anyway, so I've got tons of time before I need to repair that back up. Plus I've got my other gear that I can equip if I need to. So I probably should put that other plating on. Let's just do that for a real brief moment. Take the bad one, replace it with my streamlined. It'll give me a 4.5% move speed bonus, as well as not be broken. Not being broken is kind of key. What are we travelling at now? Yeah, we're a fair bit faster with that plating replaced. There were other buttons that you would have noticed when we anchored. There was a supply button. I'm just going to come out and say I think it's a very useless button, because most of the time you only get 10,000 supplies. And why is 10,000 not big? Because your rations is 1.2 million. Okay? So when you're talking about your spending every 20 minutes, you spend 100,000 rations to search for rations. You have a chance to not find any rations, so you've spent 100,000 rations to get nothing. If you do get rations, you still only get 110,000 rations, meaning your positive effect is 10,000 rations. Now, I have had instances where it popped up like 130,000 rations, but it's 30,000 rations. Like, okay, cool. I can get 30,000 rations by clicking this button here, having special Balanos meals, which I have in my market, heaps of them, just using that, and it gives me 22,000 per. So for 5 special Balanos meals, I might as well just save my time and done an exploration, which has a chance to give me a quest, at which point you can get really nice stuff out of it. From a quest earlier today, I got Cox Pirates artifacts. Often they will be giving me like Bright Reef pieces or other things that I need to build my carrack. The supply button is certainly not the value you would expecting. If they want to make me click on supply instead of explore, they should definitely be upping it to at least a 100% return on 100,000 rations. Even 100,000 rations is not tempting. Full rations, maybe. Even if it was like a quarter of your rations, like 250,000, it's starting to come like, if I was really desperate, maybe, like, but at this stage, no, absolutely not. Now, this is from somebody who does not have level 10 sailors. Perhaps if you had level 10 sailors, supplies becomes worth it. Right now, my recommendation is, if forget the button even exists, press explore, cop the damage or the quest or the benefit. Sometimes it's a ship repair, so you can rock up, have a ship that's damaged, press explore, and a sailor will fully repair your ship. 250,000 durability I got earlier. I think we might have even seen that one on the stream. But yeah, the other buttons, there's anchor, and then that turns into depart, and then there's supplies, explore, and the one on the right, which is barter, which is what you're going to be doing most of the time. Supplies, don't know, I think they've broken that. It doesn't seem to do... Like, when I click on it, I want to get supplies, not have a chance to not get supplies and spend 100,000 supplies. Maybe that's what they could do, have it actually spend nothing, so it's worth the roll. Like, instead of exploring, here, get a bonus or don't get a bonus. Like, get a chance at a bonus, not a pay us for a chance at some... anyway, I'm talking a lot about a thing that just don't use. Simple as that. Don't bother with it. It's one of these islands. Yeah, it's this one. Yeah, you're about to see me go into this barter, and it's not my favourite island to go to. So here, consider this one a tip. How to go into whatever this island's name is. It's not Timbera. Okay. Swing out. Come at it straight. could. Straight through here. It's a sharp turn left. Right now, you're probably thinking, oh, well, that's super easy. What's the problem? Well, the problem is there's no room to turn around, so I hope you enjoy reversing. Barter. 1, 2, there we go. We've got 2 of them. I've now got 4 pirate coins. Explore. What do we get? Ooh, that's what you want to see. Free stuff. That's actually a pretty weak reward, because that's just 1 seal. Still, it's a reward I didn't have before, and it does cost you rations to explore. Pretty confident. In fact, I'm so confident I'll say it does. Yep, but yeah, just reverse straight back out. Don't turn, don't look behind you, just shift reverse and head on out. I've been stuck in there twice. Maybe that's just me, but it wasn't the funnest experience. Let me just real briefly have a look here. What does that turn into? This part here. So off to Canberra Island. Cool, it's down there somewhere, so we'll head off in that direction. Excellent, and we're away. So, is it time to start talking about Carrack stuff? I kind of have already. We've talked about sailors, we've talked about sailors' speed, we've talked about the sailor RNG events. Using meals as rations and cannonballs. Alright, let's talk about those real quick. So you'll notice on this screen there's rations and cannonballs. I showed you the plus next to rations, brings up this screen. Normally I have 200. I was out doing some hunting earlier and I had to go and do Black Rust Nine Shark Candy as one of the quests. It's 1 of each. So there's a big long sail ahead of you, so I actually used about 80 meals while I was out there. It's not super cheap, but you just do what you got to do, really. Sailing isn't really a cheap exercise anyway. So I generally have a bunch of those. Got a heap of those in the market right now. I'll pull those through. I store them in my family inventory. Let me just get back out of that window. How are we doing for pointing in the right direction? Yeah, that'll do. I stack them in family inventory, so all my Elions, a bit of feed, the meals, and normally a bunch of grilled bird meat, because that means any character I'm on can access and refill workers and pets, so I don't have to worry about, you know, being on the right character to refill the right thing. Cool. The other thing was the cannonballs. On a galleass, you are doing a big long hunt before you run out of these, and normally you're ready to go back to port and do a bit of a reset by the time you run out of cannonballs anyway. But just in case you do plan on the longer trips, you can use breezy crystals. Each breezy crystal that you spend will give you 2 cannonballs, and you can also use origins. To show you the origins, I'm just going to bring up my warehouse. All the origins are down the bottom. Every origin of wind gives you 8 cannonballs. So it can get expensive, right? So 20 origins is 160 cannonballs. Now 160 will fill an improved Etheria frigate, but imagine you're on a galleass and you want to fill a galleass at 600. 600 divided by 8, you know, you're up for a fair few origins, and origins are 300,000 silver each. So 300,000 silver for 8 cannonballs. Up to you how you do your refills, but having said that, when I go to a wharf and get my supplies refilled, it can be 1.5 million simply to refill my supplies. So still way cheaper than origins, but just sailing is not a cheap exercise in general. Have some cash available, which is another thing that you might have noticed. I'm hauling around 44 million on my character. Money doesn't weigh anything anymore, so why not? But also, when I'm out, you know, if I'm out doing monster hunting and limp back into Lima, I always got enough money on my person to pay for cannonballs, repairs, etc. And I can do that a lot. So if I keep a big buffer of cash there, I don't have to worry about it. the other reason is I was doing some quests recently, and kinda needed some tent buffs to fight some of the monsters that I was up against. So, you know, tent buffs aren't free. Cool, so that's the meals and that's how to replace your rations and how to replace your cannonballs, shoot the cargo ships, and that's a lot of what bartering looks like. I will briefly go over the carrack process, and then I think we will finish. So, carracks. Carracks you have to make yourself. You can pretty much straight baller a caravel or galleass, spending silver to really boost your progress along. You can't do that with... Sorry, I just need to sort that out. Can't do that, that's fine. You can't do that with a carrack. Most of it you can't do with a carrack. You've got to go and do all of that yourself. However, let's assume that you have chosen to go and do that yourself. Box. How to do it is going to be lots of dailies out of Aquila's Eye. And then the other dailies that you can find, like Ravinia's quest that I did before, giving a few coins. You can, when I say this, a bit confused. I thought that we were going to turn this into something else. Was it that I didn't have boxes? Am I trading this up for boxes? I think I'm trading this up for boxes and stopping. Boxes? Or was it that I didn't have coins? I remember now, it was because I didn't have coins. Let me see. I still don't have coins. Well, there we are. Didn't focus. But I've got some nice blue candle bundles. Oh well. One day I'll have coins. It's not a big deal. I have so many other materials that that one being missing is not going to break me. One ship supply without having that isn't going to be the end of the world. What I might do is duck back to Ilia though, because I don't want to finish this trade. It's kind of pointless to finish this trade. Cool. Carracks. Now, I did set this up earlier, so I'm hoping that it all works. And earlier on I said we weren't going to do math, and spreadsheets aren't always math. Unfortunately, this one is. So, let's bring it up on the screen. Math. Who doesn't love it? Alright. In the background I can hear my ship sailing off towards Ilia. I'll just fire that off at the port since it's close enough now. And let's have a look at this spreadsheet. I didn't create this spreadsheet. It's a Scooty's checklist. I'm not sure where you can find that one. I was sent it by someone in my guild. Now, this checklist, so obviously it's been modified a bit because it was on Google and was a Google spreadsheet, but I use Excel, so I had to do a little bit of changing and converting. But anyway, just need to stop the boat. There we go, done. So, what does this all mean? This is numbers. So, at the moment, this was filled in 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago. And what it means is I have currently got, on this right-hand side, these parts. And what I need is on the left-hand side, these parts. These are somewhat put together. So the cannons also need these combat artifacts, but it's just been put into one line on here. And this is how I track how far away, far along I am towards a carrack, and tells me what I need to focus on getting and what I'm doing really well at getting, and if I have a choice between two separate components, what I would choose. So if I was to get someone who was going to give me 10 plywood or 10 seaweed stalk, I would take 10 seaweed stalk because I'm well behind on seaweed stalk, but racing ahead on the island tree-coated plywood. Also means eventually I'll just stop getting island tree-coated plywood, because I'll have hit the maximum and I'll start trading for other things. And with everything here that's ticked as being a barterable item, so you can see that that is a barterable item, it's got a tick in that column. For everything that I can barter for, maybe that'll drop out, and then I can start using the parley on these other items and focusing on them, and speeding up my process of not running out of parley when I need it. It also means eventually you just stop focusing on barter and maybe go out and grind out some pirates, or by pirates I mean get the Cox Pirates crystals. What are they called? The Cox Extermination Seals? Get those off the Cox Pirates. And so you can see over here, you can get those off the Cox Pirates that are in the tents around the various islands. Shoot those, dive across, collect the seals, and you boil them down, and you can turn them into this item. There's obviously better ways to do it. If you go around and shoot those pirate ships I was talking about earlier, the ones that are sort of like the skeleton ships, shoot those down, they will drop a cannon. You could turn 10 of those cannons into the Cox Pirates artifacts. But not a lot of this that you can sort of grind out like that. A lot of this is going to be from bartering, exchanges, dailies, and this ship material barter. You will notice that under ship material barter, everything is ticked. So you know that if you do my method of stockpiling in your bank, and then do a ship material barter, stuff will always show up in there. It's at smaller quantities for sure. So what you were seeing was transferring, one item 6 times for up to 3 items. So you'd be able to trade your wolf, 6 times. Now, once you do ship material barters, you'll be able to transfer maybe 2 times. Most of the time it's 1 time. And a lot of the time for all the good stuff on this list, it's a 1-for-1 trade, and you only get to trade that once. So you sail all the way up that island to get 1 ruddy manganese nodule, etc. So it's a slow process, and you can refresh that ship material barter every 4 hours. But I've only been doing this for a little over a week, and this spreadsheet is telling me that I'm 35% done with 72 days left. That 72 days left is just as if I only did the dailies for it. So I am getting more of these than what it's saying, so I'm well ahead. So at this stage, if you said I did it for a week and I was at 14%, I've got, 6 weeks left to get to the 100%, but it's a bit better than that. Because like it's saying, 35% done already. I have 35% of what I need to make the gear for the carrack. I'm at 13% of the way of just having the raw stuff, because you need all 4 pieces of the carrack, of the gear, and then you just need these 5 bits down here. And if you've got all of these 4 pieces of gear and this, you can upgrade to a carrack. That's how it works. But obviously the pieces to make each one of these blue ship items, for your existing galleass, I should say. So the pieces to make them, they all take all of these exotic materials, let's put it like that. And you'll need to go and farm all those out, and they'll take you time, etc. So, if we were to look at how this was going and how far along I was, that's 72 days away, that piece of gear is 57 days away, that piece of gear is 54 days away, although technically that's also 72 days away. But you need to split it out, because some of that, I think 100 of that is, or 150 of that is for the cannon, and 100 of it is for the upgraded plating. So technically, if I was just to build the plating, I'd already be a third of my way to the plating, but 0% of my way to the cannon. I'm not sure if that's making a lot of sense, but it's just been put under upgraded plating, even though that component will be used in the cannon as well, and the sum total of what you need is 250. So you'll be able to make this a little bit quicker, but overall you still need to get all of those pieces, the total number you would need to collect. I think the same with the moonscale plywood. I think that's also used in one of these, maybe the prow or something like that. So really it's like 400 on one, 200 on the other. I forget what it is. Anyway, that's sort of how it's going. So all in all, pretty happy with that sort of progress. That'll slow down, obviously, because some of these materials aren't really just a week's worth. They are stuff I knew I shouldn't throw away, and so I kept them. There's a few quests and a few of those ship... When you go into an area, often a little sign appears in the top right-hand corner telling you, there's a quest in the area, and if you kill X number of critters, then you'll get a reward. Some of those reward this ship stuff as well. So this will slow down, no doubt about it. I'm under no illusions that I certainly won't be at 26% in 1 week. Unless I grind very hard, in which case maybe I will be, but maybe I'll be further along or whatever it is. But again, it's about, a lot of this isn't really grindable. It's, I hope you enjoy bartering, because that's how you get a lot of this, and it'll be over time, and do things you enjoy, and then do a bit of bartering on the side, and have fun in the game. My recommendation is fill this out, when you feel like it, and when you've made a bit of progress, because if you do it twice a day or 3 times a day, you're just going to sit there and be like, this is so slow. Do it once every couple of days and you'll be like, oh, I've made a bit of progress, very nice. However you work, not everybody works the same way. Maybe everybody, every time they get one, it's like, bring out the chips and the Coke and throw a party, and that's up to you. You do you. I've talked enough about Carracks, I think. It's certainly a longer process. It is end game ship. It is certainly not end game of upgrading. Once you have your Carrack, you need to get the gear for your Carrack. The green gear, the reason it's got this this section down here with how many coins you need, I've got about, 1,800 now. The reason it's got this section is that you can go and get your Carrack and you just need this, but you will rock out with a base Carrack, no gear. You'll still sail, you'll still be fine, but you will not. You'll want to get some gear on it, and it's 55,000 coins to get the gear, and then 40,000 to buy just the pieces at no enhancement. If you want to get into plus 10, they're saying roughly 15,000 coin should get you plus 10 green gear across all 4 pieces. Back to the game though, because that's what we play. We don't play Spreadsheet Simulator. In fact, I'm a real big fan of not playing Spreadsheet Simulator. Spreadsheets are not my favourite. So, what are we at? The last thing I wanted to sort of mention, in my, let me grab the wheel. I can press P to bring up this menu. Last thing I want to talk about is this crystal. I have a Cerny Sea Crystal, and I have the 400 hits per ship version of the Cerny Sea Crystal. There are other versions of that Sea Crystal. You can get, you will just, what you do is you go out to, it's a sea monster hunt, so it's not something you get through bartering. You go out to Lecrashan, basically. He's over here. So if I zoom in a bit till we get to there. Alright, Lecrashan's sea monster habitat. And in this area, there are 9 sharks, black rusts, and pirate ships. My suggestion is ignore the pirate ships, just shoot the 9 sharks, the black rusts. Shoot them, and eventually you will spawn, one of them will drop. Well, eventually you'll spawn Lek, eventually. Where am I going with this? I'm blanking out. It's a late evening for me. The black rust or 9 shark will drop a green crystal. And that green crystal can have one of 6 or 7 different types of thing on it. It can have acceleration, it can have speed, so movement speed, it can have ship damage, which is PvP damage, play damage to other ships. It can have monster damage increase, a couple of other things. Weight increase, so you can get a weight crystal that will boost the amount you can carry on your ship. So obviously there's things you will prioritize, and you just keep killing the monsters and getting the crystal. You right click the crystal and it turns into the crystal of whatever type you actually land with for that. If it's not the right one, put it in your pack, keep farming, get the crystal you want. But every crystal that you want has a range that it can be in. So I got a 0.7 movement speed crystal, I think. I put that on a Carabel. But there's a 0.7 movement speed crystal that I got. And that was one of the ones that I kept. And then the... Hang on, let me just check. And the 400 damage one, which is on my Galleass. Technically, I should probably pull the movement speed one off my Caravel since I'm not on it very often, and put it on this one for when I don't need the weight but want the speed. But it's 0.7%, and when you add that up on top of all of this, it's not, it's not going to turn me into a race car or anything. So, not super. It's not up there on my list of priorities, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, if you want to get that, now what happens is, what about all the ones that are garbage and you don't want? Don't necessarily throw them away. What you do is use your alchemy skill, and put in the, I don't have any ones right now to show you, but if I was to use that one, I'd put alchemy, I'd put that in my alchemy screen, simple alchemy. Can I do that? Yeah, I need to be on standby. Here, like this, simple alchemy over here. Put your crystal in, and it will turn into one of these origin crystals. Get 10 of them, like this, and then you can use one of these Emerald Fresh Waters, one of these Origins, and a Void Sea Crystal. I believe you buy the Void Sea Crystal from Ravinia, so you can find her out at Crow's Nest. You can find one of her sisters out at Lima Island, and the other sister, is she at Veliaport? She's somewhere. Definitely at Crow's Nest and Lima, though. They'll sell you the Void Sea Crystal, and then you can turn that into a green. What do we like for that? That's fine. But again, you just get the green Eltro Crystal, and then you turn that into the piece that you wanted. Sorry, that's the worst way to say that. You just get whatever the roll is. So you could still end up with a really trash crystal. So, like, when I say trash, I mean just stuff that nobody does. Okay, it's very key that I talk about something at this point, and that's called Naval Karma. Now, I've got full karma, so I'm obviously a good boy. But if you go and damage somebody's ship, this drops your naval fame, drops like a stone. And you have to farm it back. There's no quests. In the latest patch there, I think there's a quest, but I think it just gives you like 10,000. I don't know. Check that up. My data is 1 week out of date. The way to get it back previous to that quest being added in the last week that I've not needed to look at, so don't know about, but definitely go and look up. Today is the 2nd of March, so look up patch notes around March 2021. See what you can find for that quest for Naval Karma. But you will lose about 300,000 karma for shooting down one ship. That takes you down to 0 karma. When you're at 0 karma or below, or actually when you're below 0 karma, 0 you're probably fine. Oh dear. Anyway. Did we just lose internet? We're reconnecting for some reason. Maybe we go back to looking at spreadsheet. Alright, well, while that either reconnects or doesn't, yeah, I think that's took a full reload now. The Naval Karma, you get whenever you sail into an official port. Let's bring the game back up and see how we're doing. Okay, looks like we're fine. Oh well, random disconnect. When your naval karma is below 0, you sail into any port and there will be an archer there waiting to shoot you. And he will kill you very quickly. Pretty nasty, particularly if you were wearing like your master gear and you forgot. I've not actually experienced this myself, but let's just say someone I know did decide that they were going to shoot a ship down to see what happened, and sunk into about negative 200,000 karma, and they were farming the Sea of Silence for about 8 hours. I was out there with them while we farmed him back up to 200,000 to just positive karma. He subsequently got all the way up to 300,000 and has learned the error of his ways and won't be a pirate anymore, but certainly this game hates pirates. You go to a wharf and they'll shoot you. You can't check your ship in anywhere, so you can't do bartering anymore. You can probably do some bartering, but you have no banks. Actually, I need to check all of that. Maybe you... No, you can't talk to a wharf manager. You basically can't barter, because you can't talk to wharf managers, meaning you can't move your stock around. So no, you're stuck. It's absolutely pointless for you to try bartering. So yeah, you're locked out of most sea content. You can't talk to wharf managers, so your ship you can repair. The only wharf manager in the game who talks to you will be out here at Pirate Island. They'll repair your ship and help you out with that, but aside from that, you're stuck. So yeah, don't go around sinking ships just yet. Wait for them to patch the fun back into the game. I mean, I have been sunk once while I was bartering, and we were at war with a guild, and one of them was in a carrack and took an opportunistic shot and took me out. Can't blame him for shooting someone his guild's at war with. That's how the game works. Aside from that, no. So, again, I've been lucky and been ignored, and I think a lot of people see these, lower tier ships, and they'll probably leave you alone. But yeah, it's a thing. Naval karma. All I'm saying is, you do what you do, but if you do sink a ship, you are in for, well, a more difficult game, put it that way. Alright, now what I was going to do here was just real briefly end off by seeing if Robinia will sell me the void part that I need. So what do I want for this? A void sea crystal. Show me your void sea crystals. Of course she might not sell them, and that will be for... We'll have travelled out here for nothing, but... I don't know what it looks like because I've not had to buy one yet. Starlight crystal. Does she sell something that I have to turn into a void crystal? Alright, now I've done myself a mischief here, so not sure where you went to go to buy one of those, but not where I've gone, so don't go there. I thought she would actually sell it. Just double checking to see. Sold by NPC. Who sells it? Ravinia and Livenia. I see. So this one isn't good enough. You've got to be in Rat. Then Livenia in Rat will sell it to you. Or you can sell it to Crow's Island and Ravinia will sell it to you. So there you go. Learned something today. Don't bother coming out to Lima for this. But out at Lima, just to show you, if you get the green Galleass and Caravel gear and need to enhance it, you've got your frosted blackstones and your fiery blackstones, and that's what you'll be using to upgrade those bits and pieces. I've got 74 Claws of the Waves. I would like it if anybody has information on Claws of the Waves, please do share. There in the patch notes it was stated that these can be used to get crystals somehow, but I have not found anything or anywhere or any notification online. Nothing in the codex, nothing in the database, nothing I can find tells me how I would go about doing that. Maybe it's super simple and it was just assumed that you would know what it means, but I can't find anything to do with Claws of the Waves other than sell them for 1 crow coin each. If you want to find Claws of the Waves, if somebody does happen to tell us what to do with them, or if they get a feature added to them in the future where they are more useful than 1 crow coin each, the way to farm them is again up in this area where Lekrashan is, so Rat is up here. Directly south of Rat is the Lekrashan habitat. Go down there and harvest the black rusts and the 9 sharks, and they will drop those claws for you. Last thing I wanted to cover off on, I might actually swap characters just for the ease of it, and let's just hope we don't crash out. So unfortunately Black Desert's been doing this thing where most of the time now I seem to be able to swap characters, but for the last 2 weeks it was about a 50-50 chance as to whether it actually transferred you or crashed the whole game. It's been better in the last few days, so possibly the server transfer did something. And we're in. Alright, onto the Shy. This was my sailor, and is still my sailor, for bartering when, what do you call it? In case we go to war again, and they're a very good sea guild and want to start sinking on sight, level 49s can't be attacked. But you can certainly barter on them. Don't bother doing it for anything other than bartering. Bartering's great. Bartering's effective. You can't shoot cannons at 49. You can shoot them, and then you get a message saying, please wait, and then your ship stops moving, and then you start off going again, and your cannonballs did no damage. No point. Now what I'm doing here is just coming up to Ellie, the Oasis vendor. Currently there is an Oasis event on. Again, it is March 2021. There is an event going on where this Oasis vendor, Ellie, is standing near most of the stable keepers in major cities. So the smaller cities, they won't have a Ellie standing there. But she is here for major cities, so Calphion, Hydael, Velia, Altanova. There will be an Ellie near your stable keeper. Ellie has a shop where she sells compasses for 1 silver. She sells gear, so this is what you can gear your alts with to go and sit out of those bosses like I was talking about earlier. But importantly, she sells these seafood cron meals for 1 silver. Stock up on those. They'll give you that 25 life skill mastery, as well as just in general increasing your life XP, your processing, all the rest of the stuff. You can have a read of that. Stock up on those. What you can do is buy your maps, buy your compasses. There's no expiry on any of this stuff. So you can just keep as much of it in your packs as you feel you want. And it's all 1 silver. So fully gear your character, but minus accessories. Gear your character to try for 1 silver. And then food that you'll mostly be using while you're out on the ocean. Bear in mind, this is not the place to buy food to stock your sailors with. You'll notice, importantly, that on this, there is no sailor note. I'll show you what I mean. If we look at family inventory and we go to this meal, notice it says supplied rations on ship 22,000, about the middle there. Yeah, I might have to pause to see what I'm talking about right now, but in the middle it says supplied rations on ship 22,000, and you will notice that the 1 silver version does not have that. And I can confirm it does not in fact work. You cannot use these on your ship to refill your sailors. So if you're thinking about, oh, that's a great way to do it, I'll just use those. No, it doesn't work. Maps will take you to the closest town, but bear in mind that a town does not mean Hydael, Velia, Rat, etc. If you're in Margoria, it's always Rat. But if you're out in this ocean and you map and it says, do you want to go to the closest town, and you're close to Lima, where's Lima? Come to me, Lima. Over here, if you're close to Lima, Lima is considered a town. It's got the funny town icon. You will map to Lima, you won't automatically necessarily map to Ilia or Velia. So that's just something to be aware of with the mapping. But if you're, the other thing to bear in mind about it is we initially were thinking that mapping might be a way to quickly get back from our Lekrashan hunts to Rat, and yes, it is, but the risk is very high that your sailor will get sick. And when your sailor gets sick, there's this little item you need. Where is it? Regen. Oh, great. Regen. And he throws his mouse. Alright, bear with me here. Mouse dropped off. Give me a second. Alright, back to the game. Don't want to really quit. I don't know why it did that. It's just like, well, maybe you wanted to type after the initial suggested text. 9 million. So just to recover your sailor to the point where they can actually, like, have rations and stuff. Let's just jump in there so I can show you what I mean. Right now, this sailor has 59 of 76 condition remaining. I could feed him, and that could go up, or it'll just go up by itself. He'll just recover his condition naturally. So no, most of the time I never have to bother with feeding them or anything like that. But if I was to use my map to get out to Rat and then use the recovery feature on my boat to summon it to the wharf that I'm sitting at, I will get a chance for one of my 3 sailors, or all 3 of my 3 sailors, I guess, to get sick. And that's going to cost me 10 million immediately just to bring that sailor back to, you know, a position where he is useful on the ship anymore. Who's this guy? Barter. Yeah, 53 of 70. As you can see, as they level up, they get more condition as well. So, just another thing to keep in mind. But yeah, that's what happens if you try and remote collect your ship. You have a chance of having your sailors decrease. Now, I just want to... I know I've said this a little bit. I'm just going to cover up. I've written a lot of this down. And I want to just make sure that I've actually covered off on everything I wanted to talk about. If there's anything that I realise I haven't covered at all, maybe I'll make a supplementary video to this one. But as it is, I think we've covered off on everything I really wanted to discuss with this. There's no real items or gear that you can use. I'm not going to finish the video on the show. There's not really many other items that you can put on. I'll show you the items that I'm using at the moment, but they are basically just life gear stuff to push that mastery. I have Tet sailing clothes. If you were really, truly a sea person, you probably think that's not good enough, and wonder why I didn't push for pen. It's a fixed enhancement rate. Really, it's do or die. You either get it or you don't. Just keep hitting the button until you... get it. You don't have to worry about fail stacks or anything like that. It's built into the equipment. Buy the stones, buy the memory fragments, or have a stockpile of memory fragments, and just go and get it. It's literally how you get those clothes to pen. You just, it's weird to say, you just do it. There we go. Prepared everything now. I'll just bring up that screen. We've seen this before. There's the Tet Manos sailing clothes. Then I have some Manos accessories, Tet Logia stuff. Look, Logia is really easy to get. Get yourself some black gems and then just go and smash them through. It's one piece of these. A little tip for that, I was always running out to the Logia farm, and it's close, so it's not something that I think wasted a lot of my time. But this is Velia and this is Logia Farm. They look like they're a fair distance apart, but I mean, I think this is more like the edge of Velia here, so by the time you've really run out of Velia, you're kind of at the farm. Don't worry about that though. What a waste of time. Instead, go to Zaria here. Zara? Whatever her name is. That's where the stable guy is, right? That's where she is. She sells all the Logia stuff and a bunch of the Granville stuff as well. You don't have to be running out to Logia Farm to collect your Logia gear. She'll sell it all to you. So like the marketplace is over here, go and get your black gems, come back to Zara, buy like 10, 50 earrings, smash through all of your black gems, and try and get up to the tets. Same with the rings, the necklace, the belt, all of those. Get tet stuff for that. If you don't want to go for Manos, get yourself the sailing clothes, the Logia sailing clothes, tet that. But yeah, it'll cost some money, no doubt about it. But for example, what one of my guild mates did was to grab out 50 accessories at a time, try and enhance them all, and sell all of the ones that succeeded past, I think it was try. And that was a way that you can recoup some of those costs rather than binning them. I think I have two earrings in the warehouse at the moment that at some point I'll pull out Smash. They'll probably disappear, but if they don't, I make some money. So get yourself a set of Logia gear. I can show you the numbers on that in case it's any inspiration. Tet Logia earrings give you 32 mastery. So 2 earrings will be a 50, as in it'll be 60. So 32, so 64. So it'll be 64, but that's 0.5. So you'll have crossed another 0.5 speed threshold. Tet rings are another 32. Put 2 of those on, you across another threshold and 30 points towards. It is 30, isn't it? It's 32, and 32 is 24. No, 50. We're talking about 50. You're going to get 25. So it's 7, 14, 14, 28. So you're 28 points towards the next one as well. I can't tell you. That's a lie. I can. Go to the market and you can see what they all are. So if we go Logia, and then we look at the Logia belt. A Tet Logia belt will give you 40, and I would imagine that means that the necklace also gives you 40. Yeah. So again, all those pieces together, with your Logia clothes, you're talking at least, I would say, like a 2%. We'll see what the clothes do at Tet. Because it might be even better with the clothes. Right, so it'll give you a straight 2% increase just for tetting your Logia sales clothes without your accessories at all. So add in the accessories and maybe you might get a Manos piece to push yourself past it, but you should not struggle with getting a 4% speed boost just out of your accessories and your clothes at Tet, which all it is your black gems. The other bits. Aside from that, there is no tool for sailing. Nothing I could find that helps you there. The Oasis Seafood Cron Meal gives you that extra 25 mastery. So you definitely, if you're close to popping off to the next level, you might as well run one. They run for 90 minutes, so that's on the 90-minute barter you can run. And yeah, there's probably potions and stuff you can buy, but I mean, how hard are you going to go for a little bit of speed? Please don't clip that, but it is a very small amount that you're gaining there. So I'm wearing my sailing gear right now, and once I get on the wheel, you can see my mastery buff on the right hand side. I'm getting a 7.5% speed boost out of my gear, but that is, you can do the maths real quickly, that is a 756 mastery sailing that's getting me there. But of that, right, if I take that off, I'm still at 128%. So I'm getting 7.5% to push me from 128 to 135. If you're getting 4% with just doing the Logia method, you might be getting more than 4 even, might get 4.5, whatever that is. Are you going to start dumping in Manos, etc. for a 3% speed buff? If you're going to be bartering for a long time, obviously 3% of a minute adds up over time, and will save you a significant amount of time. But if this is more just, oh, I want a character to do X, then, you know, maybe putting your money into the thing you want to do, which might be grinding or PvP, is better than putting it into Manos. That's all I'm saying. It's you know, it's not end game stuff really to push your sailing mastery out to the end. It doesn't do anything for you other than increase your speed, acceleration, turn, and brake. And that's cool. Like, I can now turn about as fast as a 9 shark, so we engage in like a locked turning struggle, and I just shoot him while we turn. Life's pretty good, but like at the end of the day, it's not going to help you get XP or anything like that. I use the diving suit for the shark because it helps me swim better. When I'm not wearing the diving suit, this is a bit irrelevant because I don't give Bite off the market at the moment, but I use the Cocoa stuff for, again, for the swimming buff. And yeah, Manos and Logia, a mix of those to get to where I'm at for now. There's not a whole lot more to talk about in bartering and all of that. Certainly, if you're looking for guidance on how to build a carrack, look, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll build a much better and more comprehensive step-by-step guide, maybe by doing all of the Aquila's Eye dailies and talking about what that looks like, and then filling out the spreadsheet, and you know, you get a real good idea about exactly how quickly progress is going to be. But for now, thank you for watching. Hope you learned a bunch. If you have any other tips, please let me know. Like I said, if I have missed things or there's other bits and pieces that need to be added, I will add a supplementary video and go from there. But for now, thanks again, and I will see you at another time.